another planet? Is Janet from 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 another planet?
Today's digital landscape with the spread of false information can lead to dangerous outcomes. It's crucial for everyone to think critically and verify sources and reflect on the impact of what they share. Let's promote responsible communication to ensure that truth prevails and actions remain rooted in reality.
The opinions you're about to hear on this show are strictly those of the panel.
The following program is rated TV MA-LSV. It contains strong language, sexual situations, and violence. It is intended only for mature audiences.
Well, hello, everyone. Welcome to the Friday Night Shit Show. And I want to say thank you to Richard and Chris for joining me this evening to talk about politics.
Hey.
So, there has been a lot of stuff coming out about fraud, in different types of fraud with money, blackmail, stealing, drugs, embezzlement. I mean, all kinds of different things like that. So that's what most of the stuff is that we're going to be talking about, is mostly the stuff that has to do with fraud. And some other things thrown in, voter fraud, all different types of fraud, but a few other things thrown in there. But before we get started, I wanted to say hi to both of you and ask how you've been doing since the last time I talked to you, both of you. So
all good here, no drama.
Good. That's always nice to hear.
We'll just say that, no drama, right?
Mm-hmm. So you're doing well?
Yeah, had a pretty decent week this week. I got to visit the acupuncturist twice, and it's been helping.
Well, good. I'm glad. So, hey, Bruce, you decide you're going to join us tonight. Can you hear me?
Testing, 1, 2. You guys got copy or no?
I can hear you.
Okay. Well, my computer or the interwebs or sun, moon, and stars, who knows? Shiloh Hendricks did nothing wrong.
Okay, well.
I swear to God, we need another 100 fucking soldiers go up and fix Minnesota. Oh no, Bruce, you're gonna put 30 fucking soldiers in the dead book like last time. Yeah, last time we were there in Mogadishu, there was thousands slaughtered. What a glorious day.
Well,
I fucking hate Somalis. I'm sorry.
This is for you. There's my man Bruce. Thank you.
Going on, Felix. Yeah.
So
he's a fan. He ain't no fudge sucker, but he's a good guy.
Yeah, he is. He's a good guy.
The Somali situation is falling apart. They caught Ilhan Omar's sister was part of that Feed the Children thing, and she got $9 million. And that guy that they went and rounded up over there in Somalia, they brought him back, and he's running his mouth like crazy. He's the one that got 250 million. So all that is unraveling at the speed of light.
Yeah, I think I have something about one of those things. I mean, I got so much stuff. I can't remember if I exactly have that one, but I got a lot. But this first one I want to bring up It's about the Secret Service. It says they're on high alert for tonight's White House Correspondents' Dinner, where 13 to 17 cabinet members are expected to attend. The threat is so severe that the cabinet officials are being told to change their entire routines. But there's a video here. I'm going to play it. Make sure it's turned up all the way. Here we go.
We see
It's so cute.
a picture of the president in a casket, a promise to every official that they're going to try to kill him. And if I'm Secret Service, I have to worry about the entire cabinet. There's between 13 and 17 are going to be going to this White House Correspondents' Dinner. One of the things they've told them is you can't have a car service anymore. You got to go with an official vehicle wherever you go. What other things do they have to do to alter their lives?
Well, that's an important point, too, because every person is responsible for their own security. Obviously, the Secret Service protects in detail form the president and the vice president, but every cabinet member should be thinking about what are the practices that I do that I have to change up. Remember, if someone's here and they're targeting you, they're going to be looking for a routine, so car services are an obvious one, but even taking a look at their home security, just their overall security. Because, Brian, to your point, these are unprecedented times. We now have the enemy inside of the country because of the last administration. And the Secret Service has the job of trying to take all these very threats, put them in order, and address them. Remember, they're proactive. They want to stop this stuff before it ever happens. But, you know, to that point, they need way more resources to do their job. And I'm hoping Congress will give it to them.
You know, because Sean did tell me that they do have enough recruits. So whatever the threshold is, they got it. The academies are full. In fact, people are waiting to get through. Is your recommendation we expand the number or the target number?
Well, I think it's important to recognize, and I think Director Curran's spot on, you need the numbers, but you really need the experience. For an agent coming through the door, that's the beginning of their career. It's going to take them 2 or 3 years before they get, the experience they need. And to that point, Brian, recruiting from established venues like the military, like law enforcement, where they have some previous exposure to crisis situations and training to go, because they can't afford to miss not even one. That's the pressure that's on this leadership. I think Director Curran may be the most important director the Secret Service has ever had.
Maybe incentivize people to come back too, if they're getting this type of support. Tim Miller, thanks so much.
What's really interesting about that whole thing is the fact that what happened with Trump in Butler, New York, we found out, it was exposed how many DEI hires they had. I mean, they didn't even have agents that were even as tall as Trump, which is ridiculous. And they had a guy wandering around on the roof for 15 to 20 minutes, people on their cell phone saying, hey, there's a guy on the roof with a gun, and shit like that. And you had these people walking around with their heads up their ass because they didn't even give a shit.
That 120-pound weakling female that's 5'4", she's perfectly adequate to be picked up by Trump and used as a tower shield. She can cover about 3 foot of him, right? Anyway, I mean, this is something that Dan Bongino walked into as the head of the FBI, and he had to fix it, try to fix it, but then you got to leave it that she's just trying to make a name for her own damn self. And then you got poor Cash out there staring bleary-eyed in the camera. I'm sorry. We can only do so fucking much. When your hands are tied at your job, you're fucked. That's all there is to it. And
yeah, but the thing is, what I was talking about with that article we just listened to, they got to figure out a better way to have enough people to guard certain people, and not just have a bunch of newbies that don't know what they're doing. I mean, we figured out, you can't do that shit. So
you're going to ruin the game.
DEI.
I promise you that tore the Secret Service up.
You're going to ruin the game if you expect accountability, Janet. Come on. We have to give this job to a paraplegic monkey. Don't you understand?
No.
What gets me about it When I was in the Navy, I had several really good friends that were in the Marines. One of the jobs that the Marines really that proved that you were like top tier Marine was being assigned to the White House detail. And we had two guys that had been on the Ike that qualified to be transferred to White House detail.
Mm-hmm.
They weren't even there 6 months after the Clintons came into office before they were begging and pleading to be transferred somewhere else. And they were willing to take any billet to get away from there. And this was in 93. And this isn't something new. We saw this happen with George W. Bush when he was in office, that all the people that had been brought in during the Clinton years, that was really not that good. Then we had that during the same thing ended up turning around happening during the Obama years, where the Obama administration was bringing in all these people for the optics instead of competence. And I mean, I still remember during the Clinton administration when they gutted the military medical commands. The Joint Chiefs of Staff were begging and pleading with Bill Clinton not to do it, and literally said, "What will we do if we end up going to war and we've got casualties?" And Clinton flippantly said, "Just send them to the VA." Guess what else in the budget he cut? Cut the VA budget too. And then everybody gave George W. a hard time about the wounded coming out of Operations Iraqi Freedom and Enduring Freedom, because that was what he was given when he showed up. He was left holding a bag where they kept kicking the can down the road. That's where we're at right now with what's been going on in Iran. The whole world kept kicking that can down the road. And the fraud that we're seeing, the DEI stuff we're seeing, that's all part of the optics. Can you make that statement too? Optics. That's the problem. Uh-oh, I can't hear you, Miss Janet.
I have a video I'm going to play that has it's from years and years ago, that's going to show you the similarities from right now from back then and where it comes from. One point of view of a person that is not available to speak right now, but it's very telling when you get to listen to the whole thing. I might just go ahead and do it next because I think it fits in. So I'm going to go ahead and bring that up because I think it's very, very interesting. Chris and Bruce got to hear a little bit of it earlier because I gave my kind of a little sample of it. So I'm gonna.
While you bring that up, Janet, I wanted to make a comment about Richard was just talking about.
Okay, go
So
ahead.
that GW put Jim Peck in as the secretary of the VA. And the VA was turning around, patient care was going up, they added all this stuff. And that's when Obama came in, he got that Chinese Lieutenant General, Jim Shinseki. And then Jim Shinseki was the one who got ousted from the cabinet because he made a bonus program that if you could not treat people, if you could fix their paperwork and blacklist them and not treat, I was patient zero in that OIG investigation.
My dad. Okay. Miss Janet got to come for a very special fireside chat yesterday. We were celebrating my 18th death day. That was the day I died on the 23rd of July, 2008 for 40 minutes. Had to relearn how to walk after they rebuilt my butt. And for those of you wondering, did it cost $6 million to rebuild you? No, it was $300,000. That's how much it cost. But no, my dad, while I was relearning how to walk at the VA in Asheville, they had Dad go for the test where they can prove that you have Agent Orange in your body. It cost back then, I think it was almost $2,000 if you were paying for it out of your own pocket. So the VA was only going to allow you one free test. Well, Dad went and got that test done in August of 2008 while I was up at the Asheville VA. And the test results came back right after the election of 2008. And the outgoing George W. Bush administration was about to approve Dad's VA disability rating of 100% because that test proved Agent Orange was killing him. And the incoming Obama administration said, no, we want to be the ones to approve it. And they sat on it for 6 months. Because they sat on it for so long, they demanded my dad come off a couple of $1,000s to pay for a second test. And we didn't have that money. And his doctors at the VA started treating him for the Agent Orange poisoning.
Yeah, they actually have it now that if you served over there, you automatically get. Trump did that in term one. That if you're were in Vietnam, you got Agent Orange. So what? It spread, the wind blew it, whatever. Everybody gets it now.
Unfortunately, because of the Obama administration stopping the doctors for treating my dad, the 13th of October, he died. And November the 20th, my uncle, Dwight, died. Both of them died from the same thing, from Agent Orange poisoning. I wouldn't be here if it wasn't for my uncle Dwight. He's the one that showed a picture to one of his squad mates of his family back home. And my dad fell in love with the picture of my mama. So, yeah, when it comes to Obama, not just the fact that when Hillary Clinton was Secretary of State, she didn't want to do her job, which means I didn't get to see or talk to my son until he called me on his 16th birthday because his mother abandoned me after the accident and took him illegally to the United Kingdom. And the newly appointed Secretary of State cost me 2 years of a runaround and wouldn't give me the State Department lawyer that was supposed to help me be able to see my son. And yeah, the Obama years were not good. In fact, I got investigated. Because I got involved in the Tea Party movement. And they kept trying to take my disability away.
They have weaponized the hell out of the VA. They're doing smear campaigns. They're doing all kind of stuff over there. I got another OIG case open right now, and it's over smear campaigns and character assassination and putting false information in medical records again. As soon as Trump left office after the 2020 election, all of that stuff Shinseki was doing started right back over.
Yep. Yep. I'm actually putting together a group of other vets and disabled people to do a deep dive on this crap that we've had to go through.
Mhm.
And if you want in on it, reach out to me through Miss Janet if she's willing to do it. That way you can be part of it.
Okay. Well, here is the thing I would like to play because I think this is very, very interesting. If you haven't already heard it, this is the post. They think that this is why John Thune won't touch the Save America Act. So this is a young Mitch McConnell from 1987. So I want you guys to listen to this. It's very, very informative. Here we go.
Mr. President's election day in Kentucky. And I suspect on this election day, as on many election days over the last 100 years or so, in some areas of my state, people are attempting to buy votes, sell votes, intimidate voters, and in general, distort the election process. Earlier in my life, I taught on a part-time basis a course called American Political Parties and Elections. We talked about with the students the election fraud problems in some areas of this country. It is clearly not a problem everywhere. But in certain areas of our country, particularly rural one-party areas in the South, and in certain big cities in the Midwest and in the North, again, places where one party tends to dominate, this is an ongoing problem. Some have even felt that it might have determined the outcome of the presidential election in 1960 between Nixon and Kennedy. There was much written and said about election fraud in Chicago that might well have turned Illinois in Kennedy's direction rather than in Nixon's. I might say I've had my own experience as an election challenger. I recall 20 years ago in 1967 in a governor's race in Kentucky, being dispatched as a challenger to a one-party precinct, being threatened with physical harm, watching voters being intimidated and pushed around. It's a problem that has persisted in my state. I can recall in 1981, Mr. President, when I was running for re-election for a local office, polls showed me in a certain area of my community with 40% support. And on election day, it ended up being 17%. And I wondered what happened between the Friday before the election and the Tuesday of the election that made that much support just evaporate like that. And then in 1984, Mr. President, when I ran for the United States Senate, I recall being up literally all night, constructing telegrams, trying to get the cooperation of federal prosecutors to encourage people not to steal the election. In some areas of the country, of course, this kind of thing is unheard of. But it is a persistent problem in the rural South, in some big cities of the North, in areas where one party tends to dominate. The Courier-Journal, a statewide newspaper in my state, recently did an excellent one-week series on this problem in our state. It was well done. It had people talking on the record for attribution about the participation in the selling of votes, the buying of votes, the distortion of the election process. A lot of the election fraud that occurs in my state, and I suspect in many others, involves the use of absentee ballots. The candidates who've made their best effort, given their best shot, are entitled to have the votes counted accurately and voters not intimidated or assaulted, or in the case of voters willing to selling their votes to the highest bidder. It's not enough to have a post-election remedy. We have an occasional prosecution and an occasional conviction in my state for these kinds of election day shenanigans. But what the candidates and the public would like to see is an honest election between 6 a.m. and 6 p.m.
Did you pause it?
We can't hear you, Miss Janet.
The thing is that everything you said is what we're going through right now, which we have been going through. It's just that wasn't as obvious until after someone got 81 million votes, which we know is impossible because you can't have more votes in any precinct or a district or whatever than you had people registered. At least legally you can't. So what do you guys think about that? Each of you give me your idea of what you thought of his speech compared to today.
I mean, today he is a robot.
Mm-hmm.
But, I mean, the quiet part was broadcast out loud, and it's been broadcast out loud numerous times. It's just a shame that we're so unwilling to do anything about it. You know, we need to have a world where we are friendly with wood chippers and tarring and feathering, and we need to have a world where the politicians fear the fuck out of the populace. You know, I mean, we do have more rifles than their special police forces. It would be a shame if somebody took them to task for their shitty policies and decisions which bankrupt the country and give rewards to the 0.1% that are involved in government. I would love to see that. But again, you know, we started our conversation a couple hours earlier with the statement, I love seeing dead Muslims, rhinos, and Democrats. If you're a Bolshevik, I want to see you smeared across footage of asphalt. I would love to see that. We used to do drawing and quartering back when we were uncivilized brutes sailing across the world. Magellan's crew did it.
We also had hangings, public hangings.
No, that's not enough. I want drawing and quartering.
But what I wanted to add really quick was in the chat, we've had a few people talking about term limits. I don't think 4 years is enough because we do need a few people there to help the newer people, and they learn as they go, and then they're more prepared to go on to another specific job in their state or whatever else. But sometimes I think it should be the states. I think a state should say 2 term limits is as high as you can go, or maybe it's just 4 years. But I just feel like it should be the states that choose the term limits. But I do believe that the whole country needs term limits, but that the state should choose whether it's going to be 4 or 2 or 1 term or 2 terms. Period. But go ahead, Richard.
One of the things I don't know if we've had this conversation before, Janet, but the founding fathers never intended on us to have a politician class. That was one of the things. That's the reason why we don't have a nobility, even though the proposed 11th Amendment to the Constitution was to bring about a nobility and titles for the new United States. But the founding fathers were terrified of what would happen with a politician class. Remember, the House of Representatives was set at 2 years, and it was supposed to be local people coming up here at the beginning of the year with what new legislation was supposed to be proposed. They were then supposed to take that knowledge back home and say, okay, this is the legislation we got on the docket. Let's discuss it. What should I say when we go back up there to try to figure this all out? Then they'd go up there and do that. Then they would come back with what was decided and then ask, how should I vote? It was all about the people in that local community choosing who would represent them for that period of time. And it was supposed to only be for 2 years or maybe 4 years. All because it was felt that the local person would know best of what the community there wanted. And the Senate was supposed to represent the state governments. That's why they had the 6-year plan. And they were supposed to be selected from amongst the state house, the elected state people, to go up there for their 6-year period and basically be the, oh shit, here's the breaks. We're the governor. We're supposed to make sure that the federal government can't work too fast, because that was the whole point of the Senate. It was described as the House was the cup of hot, scalding hot tea, and the Senate was the saucer that tea dripped into to cool off. That way, we would not have the problems we have today, where the federal government thinks they're the ones in charge of everything, or these politicians think y'all work for us, when it says in the opening preamble, we the people, we're the ones that have the power. There's more of us than there are of them, and the politicians have gotten to a point to where they're not scared of us no more. That's why I say we need to break out the metal rulers and go start hitting some peepees with them, until they realize they work for us.
Well, they are scared right now. That's why you're not seeing them doing the jobs that we sent them there to do, because they're afraid of Trump. They don't like the decisions that Trump's making. He's taking away their money. He's taking away, he's closing up all this fraud. He's declassifying stuff that they've been fighting to keep hidden for many, many years. So he's doing all the things and setting the stage for whoever's going to be next.
I put the link for that.
Oh, you put it in the private chat?
Yeah, I put it in the chat. And listen, it's Most Corrupt series. Mitch McConnell bought and paid for by guess who? Pfizer. Watch that video. You will be stunned.
Okay, I'll share that in the chat for everyone, because if it's on YouTube, I can't play it. But I have a video I'm going to play next, because to me, I listened to this guy, and you got to listen to him, because a few things made me think, he's going in a direction I don't agree with. But if you listen to the whole thing, he puts it all together, and it's really smart. It's a really different point of view that I haven't heard anyone else really discuss, but it makes a lot of sense. So I wanted to play it, because once what Richard was saying about where we came from and how we came here to break away from that, the crown, whatever. And look at what's going on with Canada. They can't even break away. And there's other countries that still have the crown over them, with their hold on them. I want to see, we've seen the direction the crown is going right now, and it's not in the direction I want to go, because I'm not going to wear a hijab, if you know what I'm saying, ever. I will die before anyone tries to put one on me, and I'm not going to do it. I'm just not going to do it. And I know many women that feel the same way I do, that they'll say forget it, that they'll just off themselves or do whatever it takes.
I love Instagram. Instagram is full of hot and attractive women that go on there and just give shit to Muslim nations and to shitty Muslim ideology. Like, if you think you're going to put Sharia law in every house in the United States or in North America, you got another thing coming, Mohammed. Wait till you try knocking on my door and a 12-gauge slug comes out that fucking piece of oak, rips your guts in half, and splits you. Wait until my dog gets a hold of your corpse and starts dragging you all over the yard like a chew toy. I fucking love Instagram, because hearing women with that southern drawl just completely threaten a shitty pedophile cult religion where the dumb fucking inbred goddamn worshipers think they're going to take over America, a nation that goes shooting for fun and fucking wagers. Holy fuck. When does this shit kick off?
Yeah, it's gonna be tough. They don't realize it. They really don't. They don't know what they're getting into. They've only gone to cities where they basically are handed a silver platter. But I really do want you to listen to this guy. I think he's very, very spot on with what he's about to say. It's a little over 4 minutes long, but it's definitely worth it. Now, if any of you guys want me to pause it for any reason, just tell me and I will pause it so you guys can comment or whatever. But try to get past a little ways because he it kind of feels like he's gonna say something maybe that you don't agree with, but he ends up putting it all together. So it's really smart. So here we go. Make sure it's turned up. Here we go.
Bits of the NDA, and I'm going to share something with you right now that I've been sitting on for a few days. So I presented the video because I wanted to make sure I had multiple sources to validate it, and I do now. But this one source sort of brought everything together in a way that I haven't seen anywhere else before. This person is close to the administration, the Trump administration, and I mean genuinely close. Not I heard it from somebody who heard it from somebody. They're inside. They're going to write about it in depth this week too. So some of it's going to come out publicly anyway. What I want you to understand before you hear this is what looks like a cluster right now, what looks like chaos, what looks like things spinning out of control may not be what it looks like. Many people inside the administration believe what we're watching is coordinated. And here's what I was told by him. Let me lay a few things bare for you, Stephen. Mossad and most of what has become the current incarnation of Israel under the Likud party is a wholly owned subsidiary of the City of London. The financialists, the globalists, the puppet masters, whatever you want to call them. And they have no intention of allowing any kind of peace come to the Middle East anytime soon. It's a grand manipulation and the tentacles run deep. They go all the way back to the 1909, the founding of MI6, straight into our own process in the CIA. Then the State of Israel is born. 1 year later, Mossad is born out of the same machinery as MI6. They also own the IRGC. They owned the Emirates until recently. They still largely own Oman, though that's changing as well. Saudi Arabia, they haven't broken free yet. This is the great game. And all the roads lead back to London. Now let's talk about Section 219 and 622 of the NDAA. People are looking at these two provisions and asking why they matter so much. Well, I don't think you should look at them as creating something new overnight, although anything new that gets embedded in defense spending always grows exponentially from that point forward. If you suddenly make it legal to fully integrate intelligence systems across borders, you're giving away sovereignty, point blank. It is constitutionally undoable. Section 219 is the integration of military. Section 622 is the intelligence merge. And once you make it legal, it will only grow from there. But that's not the primary reason that they pushed for this language. The reason this language exists is because of Trump's war with the globalists. What the enemy is doing right now is covering their backs, covering their tracks, trillions of dollars, stolen money, stolen lives, wrecked careers, people destroyed, and all of it protected for decades under the banner of a military to military relationship that nobody was allowed to question. Because the moment you question it, you were called an anti-Semite. That was the perfect cover. Use the Jewish people as a shield so that nobody could look behind the curtain. That playbook isn't working anymore. People are as tired of that word as they are of the word racism. What people are also starting to understand is that the deep state is not a party. It's not the Republican, it's not Democrat. It's a consortium buried inside intelligence agencies around the world, running compromised politicians from local office all the way up to federal through bribery, extortion, and blackmail. And whether you're looking at the CCP version of it, or the French version of it, or the American version of it, all of it connects back to those families operating inside that 1 square mile in the city of London, the Orsinis, the Medicis, the Lambertis, the Rockefellers, to name a few. Their names are searchable, but you'll never get to see them. And they're the ones in a full panic right now, apparently. This is why they have their entry-level managers, people like Tom Cotton, Mike Rogers, and Adam Smith, embedding this language into legislation. And when those managers need to send a message to keep people in line, well, they're going to make an example of somebody. This is what Ukraine connects to this all as well. This is all indemnification. They believe they're about to face a buzzsaw, and they're trying to get some cover before it hits. I'm working from the inside our camp to make sure the right people understand the full picture, because right now too many eyes are on one or two fronts when there are 8 of them. The tech billionaires and the oligarchs are waiting on the sidelines to move in if this breaks too fast and too clean. It's not going to be simple. There's real danger ahead. But on the other side of this, I believe we're about to see criminality exposed at a scale this world has not witnessed since the fall of Rome. The light is coming. Friends, this is why getting TAB certified as a citizen servant leader is more urgent than ever before. Enroll in the course today at jointab.us and get in the ranks of the people that will take America back from these corrupt, lifelong career politicians and bureaucrats.
Ooh, let me look at jointab.com.
I want to get your point of view now that I'm finished playing it. Starting with Chris, and then we'll go to Bruce, and then Richard, you'll be third. But I want to hear what you guys each thought by listening to what he said. Do you agree with a lot of what he said, some of what he said, or in what parts did you think might be factual?
I think he just left Epstein's name out. That was probably the biggest thing that they did over the last 20 years to really rifle people into a place where whatever they said, they did it. Right?
Yeah. But I mean, who did Epstein work for most of the time when you kept hearing all the stories?
Yeah, here's the way the deep state works. The deep state works for whoever pays the most money. That's why I live in a 1-bedroom house and all my stuff's paid for, and I don't need anything from you. What I need from you is for you to follow the Constitution, to stay within the United States and not be violating the Hatch Act and going to, like Obama when he went to go talk to the prime minister about a month ago. That's a total violation for an ex-president to go do diplomatic work without getting pre-approved, right? So he's very accurate about all of that. And the only thing I'll really add, that money doesn't belong to all those people in London anymore. It belongs to George Soros. He went over there and he broke the British bank and destroyed the pound. And all that money ended up in his bank. ICC put criminal warrants out for him for international banking crimes. And then Hillary Clinton and Bill Clinton decided to give him asylum in New York. And he's been doing his operation here since then. And that's 1995. And believe me, I've got details on that that would make you vomit. So that's what I have to say about all of it. Go ahead, next.
Okay, Bruce. What do you think about it?
It's no surprise. I mean, you've seen the fall of the bank in London over the past couple decades. What he said, what that gentleman just said is correct. In 1995, everything kind of got shifted to New York. And sadly, that piece of shit, he's a member of the protected class. And, you know, until the day comes where you have a sizable amount of people decide enough is enough and we don't need some fraudulent bankster fucking over nations' economies, because George's first job was not the Bank of London. He'd been doing that for years. And he'd go in and he would seed an area and then he would just cripple it from the inside. He's a termite. He's a financial fucking termite. And unfortunately, we have too many jackasses and turncoats in our own nation that are wanting to have his style of governance established worldwide. And that's not the right, you know, through the rise of Islam. He wants to be a socialist piece of shit. And unfortunately, we have too many faggot socialists in our country, and we just need to fucking just take them the fuck out. We just need to make a giant splattering noise as thousands of bags of soy are emptied on the soil. Fuck these people.
Well, I can't hear you, Miss Janet.
I said, thank you for your opinion, Bruce. And go ahead, Richard.
We haven't had enough dead communists and fucking piece of shit Bolsheviks die yet. And if we would have had this happen at the start, World War II might not have happened. Did I fucking say that? I'm so sorry. Yeah, again, Hardwick comes with the common sense aspect of it. Like, this guy doesn't sound like anything but a QAnon poster, but at the same time, if you just watch the power groups shift here and there, you can definitely tell that the priorities in government have shifted from helping enable Americans to crippling America's financial spine and making us more enslaved to the fiat dollar.
Mhm.
Well, when it comes to George Soros, this chucklehead's already crashed 4 separate national economies.
Mhm.
The UK was the first one that wasn't a communist one.
Mm-hmm.
His home country of Hungary has basically outlawed him. Said that if he ever shows back up, he'll be lucky to be wearing an orange suit. Because I have a feeling if he was to show up back in Hungary,
Why? Why does he need to wear orange? We could just put the grave dirt over him. It's cheaper. I don't want to feed the fucker. I want him to fucking expire.
well, when it comes to this guy, he is not a good person. You know,
Mhm.
I have been reading up on George Soros for a long time. I remember what he did in the UK. That basically is why he, like they said, why he came here was because of the BS and the fact that he crashed an allied nations economy so bad that it devalued the British pound sterling. Shoot, how much did it get? It was extremely bad. We actually used to have a Bank of Scotland here in Charlotte that in Charlotte, for those of you who don't know, the second biggest banking city in the United States is Charlotte, North Carolina. In fact, for a while there, we were the number one banking in the world right after September the 11th had happened, until the banks went back to New York City. From what they're saying with Mandani and his BS, and so many of the investment bankers and hedge fund management and all that stuff, they're getting out of New York City right now because of Mandani and his policies that he's saying he's going to enforce. And unfortunately, guess where they're all heading? My backyard. Yeah. Can you see the look of how I feel about that on my face right about now? Not cool. And so, yeah, the gentleman speaking about all these power players in London, which also is one of the reasons why a lot of the stuff that's been going on in the Straits of Hormuz had basically in attempts to try to control what was going on with us dealing with the proverbial can that's been kicked down the road ever since 1980, that Trump's finally said. I mean, Trump's been saying since the 1980s that Iran cannot get a nuke, no matter what it takes. We have to make sure they never, ever get a nuke. And he wasn't even bringing up the fact that that was because the Iranian Islamic Revolution was being led by the Twelvers. For those of you who do not know what a Twelver is, these are the Sunni insanity branch of Islam is the Wahhabist. They're the ones that we got the Muslim Brotherhood and Al Qaeda and the Taliban from. The Twelvers are the Sunni branches, crazy people. They actually believe that there's this little boy who was the 12th Mahdi, i.e., descendant, last male line blood descendant of Muhammad, is hiding in a little well somewhere in Syria. And they believe the more death and destruction and chaos they bring into our world today will speed up that little bastard hiding in the well to start climbing out of the well. Yes, Hardwick got it right here. The Twelvers believe that they must kick off the apocalyptic war that causes the hitting 12th Imam, destined to become the Mahdi, to reappear from the well he's hiding in. And like I said, I will give this to the thuggies there in India who worship Shiva / Kali. They believe all the people they murder is going to keep her from showing back up. They're trying to they're doing killing and crazy shit to try to postpone the end times. The Twelvers, on the other hand, they want to speed that shit up. So we can't let these people get their hands on something like a nuclear weapon. Even if it's just the materials to make a dirty bomb, we can't let them get their hands on that. And this is something Trump's been talking about all the way back when he was a Democrat. Very few people realize just how big of a Democrat the man was back in the day. Anybody out there remember when Jesse Jackson ran for president?
Well, hold on. Rich.
Mm-hmm.
New York City has never been a Republican-red town.
Yes, I know.
For Trump to get as many buildings pushed up off the ground and established, for people to just laugh shit off and be like, oh, he's just filing for bankruptcy again, he's going to make himself another millionaire in about 30 minutes. That has to happen when Trump puts on the business face, which some people say he's just being a Democrat. The dude was greasing palms.
Yes.
Left and right, center. He did that very well.
That's how
nobody gave a shit
up there.
And nobody gave a shit about it.
Well,
the moment that he became a Republican, go ahead.
Well, the reason why I'm bringing up the fact he was a big time Democrat supporter back then, so much so that he had people like Whoopi Goldberg, Oprah Winfrey, and all of them kissing his butt, saying if he ever ran for president, they would vote for him and they'd support him. No hands down. But like I said, he is the one who bankrolled Jesse Jackson's presidential run almost exclusively. He was the one that was basically doing this with $100 bills. Okay. Now, I did not want to vote for Trump when he ran in 2016 originally, because he was so close to the Clintons. And I felt that he had gotten into the Republican race as a favor to make it easier for Hillary to get in the office. But I wasn't going to vote for that woman. I will say, I have said this before. Hillary Clinton bought my vote for Trump in 2016 by being the worthless douche bag Earth has ever seen. But he earned my vote in 2020 and 2026. If he could run for a third term, guess who would be hitting that button? I'd be jumping on it, doing a big belly flop to land right on top of that button to vote for him again if he ran again. All because of the fact he's been trying to keep his promises to the American people. That doesn't mean I blindly support everything he says or does. There are times when I'm like going, but on the upside, the majority of the things he's doing, I've been supportive of it, especially when it comes to Iran. We Jimmy Carter is why we have a problem in Iran right now. I mean, Jimmy Carter died thanking God first for Obama and then Joe Biden, so he wouldn't go down in history as America's worst president. Pure and simple.
I don't know what this guy's talking about. Jimmy
Bruce,
Carter
I
was
brought this up for you. So what do you want me to do?
Just scroll down and let people see the funnies. Because
Okay,
it's funny as shit.
Bruce has been sending me this and asking me to play this for you guys or show it to you. It's his proof of life memes. And there's different ones on here. So I'm going to go through it really quick.
That's special, Lee. Thank you.
I just
Hey, when I went to go look for that Mitch McConnell video so I could post the address to it, there was a new video on my feed that said they pronounced Mitch McConnell dead. What? It was about an hour old. Now I wasn't able to fact check it.
Hardwick, can you check that out and find out for us whether or not that's true? Please, I'd really appreciate it.
Well, the video's up there. I saw it. No, and I'm like you, the first thing I thought was, this is bullshit. And I didn't fact check it, but I saw that it was right up at the top of my feed.
Yeah, I want someone to check and see if that's true or not so we can, talk about it or whatever. But what I was going to say about the video was the fact that I feel some of it is true, and that's why I think I wanted to listen to the whole thing, is because I do agree with him to a degree that all the big corporations, Pfizer, Google, the same people that got rid of Parler, remember that whole thing?
Yeah.
And those same people are the same ones that don't want to give up power. And I feel like they're behind a lot of the problems that we're having. So hopefully what Trump is doing, if we can just keep people focused on getting the information out about all the fraud, cutting off all the money, which is what Doge started out, and we've been slowly doing it. And you can go to the government websites that Trump's administration is definitely trying to be as transparent as possible. That's why they're releasing all these documents. That's why they're trying to have as many of these press conferences and all the different stuff. He's trying to show you this is it. But when you have CNN and MSNBC and ABC that don't even want to air the president's giving a speech, it's all fake. Because of the Smith-Mundt Act that Obama signed, to make it to where you can't prosecute or anything the media for telling lies, knowingly telling lies. All you got to do is get a remote control when the news is on and change the channel. And what are you going to hear? The exact same shit on every single one, because guess what? They're all being run by the same people. Okay, so when you find people like James O'Keefe and different groups like that, and sometimes Fox News, I feel like they have a few people on there that are actually telling the truth, but it's just really hard. That's why I started watching channels like YouTube and things like that. Not all of it, but certain people on X, certain people on Snapchat, certain people on different Telegram. I can get facts from them. But it's really hard to get that now. I mean, it's just really hard. But you have to be very careful not to believe everything that someone says, and go look up things for yourself. That's the only way that we're going to actually find truth. So I just wanted to share that because I wanted to hear you guys' opinions. Did you hear how different everyone's opinions were and the little bit of information each of you added to it? And it was from one person. You see what I mean? So when you have 25 of those same type of people all posting on one app and you have a million people watching them all, then it becomes a huge cluster because everybody's all throwing in there, like the whole thing with the Charlie Kirk murder. It's endless amounts of crap piled on to truth. And that's what makes it so hard for people to swim through it all to find facts because they're willing to believe and eat whatever dish is laid in front of them because they want to fit in. They want clicks or whatever it is. Okay, so that's why it's important for us to try to be as factual as possible and share information and talk about it. Like what you were talking about the other night, Richard, about people being able to speak their mind, share their thoughts, but not feel like, oh, I'm going to be put in the closet and the door's going to be shut now because of what I said. See what I mean?
One thing none of us mentioned, I think we should talk, at least look at, is the Ashkenazi Jews, which are basically the godless neocons that run WEF. You know, the George Soroses, the Mayorkas that was over our border that let everybody in. There's other ones of them. The governor of Pennsylvania is one of them.
Are you trying to have me have a fucking heart attack talking about the people I wish would absolutely just all for one have a Jim Jones Kool-Aid gathering? Motherfucker, I cannot stand people.
It
like
wasn't Kool-Aid, man. It was Flavor Aid. Remember, it was Flavor Aid.
Pieces of shit. That's all we really need to understand about it. And it's not.
Yeah, but people say they hate Jews. Those are the Jews they hate, and they're not Jews. They were Jewish by birth, and then declared Gnosticism or atheism or whatever, and started this whole secular movement and took over the WEF, the WHO. You know, invented COVID, took power from the entire Western world because they're neocon Nazis that want to control when you eat, when you go to the bathroom, what house you live in, and all that other bullshit. So, yeah, Ashkenazi Jews are simply the European Jews, but they're basically came from the area where Ukraine is, you know? So the irony in that is all kind of crazy. And they all, you know, Ukraine it's right there. What was used to be Czechoslovakia and all this. I mean, I got one of the guys on the PIAB and he emails me more shit about the Ashkenazi Jews. I'm like, look, dude, I've got Jewish ancestors and I'm Native American. So stop, you know, calling me up with some of the shit you call me with. Look here, if you took the Houthis and Hamas, one's in Lebanon and one's in you know, south of Saudi Arabia. Yeah, you put those people in the same room, they will kill each other. They hate each other. The rule with all of that is 12 tribes, right? Mm-hmm. You know, if they're in a fight with each other, they hate each other. But if we go stick our nose in it, all of a sudden they're on the same team. And that goes all the way back to 1990, 91, and 2 when Saddam invaded Kuwait and all this other stuff. So Hamas, Hezbollah, the Houthis, all of them. And I mean, there's a site that you can go to. It's West Point, and you can ask West Point. You can put it in their search engine to explain the factions of the Islamic Guard, the Islamic Republic. And literally, if you read it, it will confuse you so bad you won't believe it. You got the Sunnis, you got the Shias, you know, and it's all this, and they hate the shit out of each other, and they're all struggling to control the caliphate, right? And right now, Iran has it, and Obama basically helped spread. Yeah, that's right, the Khazarian theory. That's exactly right. So, yeah, it's all of it's crazy. They're having wars over there that they have fought for 5,000 years over the same shit. And when we stick our nose in it, it's like suicidal empathy, you know, that God Sad talks about.
Well,
How
I
dare
have
you compare
another.
us to a white woman wanting to bring over migrants?
Well, I want to start with this thing, this new subject right here, because I thought it was interesting. And you guys know I like Laura Logan. I got to be on a show with her one night on Drew's channel, and it was pretty fun. She was on there for 3.5 hours, and I just think she's a really good person, and I think she's fighting for what she believes in. And I wish more people were willing to do that. But I want to play this for you because I think it's very, very interesting. And it says, the gig is up. There is no way America's enemies, both foreign and domestic, want this addressed. If you still think this is about Trump, you have been blinded. This is so much bigger than any one person. This is about taking control of it all or not. So I'm going to play this for you. It's pretty good. Not very long, but here we go. Listen.
That are foreign adversaries, not our allies. Foreign adversaries have parts that are vital pieces in our voting machines. We know that they can access what they consider the key to the back of these votes, to these machines. We know that they can change voter registration and your vote. We know it's possible. There's not a question. It's not even for debate. One thing that I love about numbers and I love about facts is they don't lie. This isn't something that I'm trying to tell you to spin a narrative. This is what is going on. And what we are saying is that every state should partner with us to work to secure this. Once we identify the problem, everybody should be informed. Working with Secretary Lutnick, we are going to make our security enhancements mandatory, meaning that if these states want a grant and they want to be reimbursed to work or to run federal programs, they're going to have to implement.
So basically, this is part of his speech that he gave when he was talking about after Trump said he was releasing all this information to those 18 states that they know that China, Russia, and other people interfered with, and they have documentation. That's why they release it. And one thing I'm having a hard time trying to understand still is why they classified all that anyways. You know, what was the whole thing behind classifying it? Isn't the people that are the ones voting, aren't we the ones that should know about what's going on with our voting and our elections? That's why I'm glad this is happening. And I hope that them working together with states that aren't fighting and throwing a tantrum about the voter rolls and things like that, that this is all going to start coming together. But see, to me, this right here, the cheating to get certain people in office, because it wasn't just for presidents, because look at the governor of Arizona, you know, other people were voted in through the cheating, okay? And we have to clean up the cheating to get the real people in there that the people actually want in. We don't know who that would have been because we didn't get the opportunity to find out. But once they get that cleaned up and we make the states have to follow through, we're going to start seeing a shift in who's supposed to be there and what the people want instead of what the bureaucrats are wanting and forcing us all these years. That's why I played that earlier for a video from 1987 to show you how long it's actually been going on that we know of, just from different evidence like that video. So we have all this evidence and we can make it happen if we stick together. The 81 million people that actually voted for Trump, which I can't believe, are the ones that are going to make this right, that we're going to fix this, because we're not going to just sit back on our fist and lean back on our thumb going, oh, well, there's nothing we can do about it, because there is. And
the late, great George Carlin said way back in the 90s, there's a great big fucking club and you ain't in it. And we've been up against this for 50 years.
Longer.
And yeah, we've been up against this shit for a really long time. But even, I mean, George Carlin was talking about this when people were passing out participation trophies. I mean, I had to raise my kids through that.
Mm-hmm.
I've got 42-year-old, a 40-year-old, a 35-year-old, the shit that I had to expose my children to go to school and all. Oh my God, we've suffered a long time. It needs to end. It really needs to end.
Well, one of the things about the SAVE Act that I've been something like 80 to 90% of the American people are supportive of it, including Democrats. And the majority of Black people and Hispanic people are all for the ID, as showing your ID. We're the only country on earth that does not require to show ID to vote. And it's one of those things that really pisses me off because I've been around the world. I've been to other countries and see how they do stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And these idiots that keep sitting there saying, oh, we need to be more like Europe, except requiring a photo ID, because our constituents are too stupid to know how to get an ID. And I'm like,
I mean, they put right on the Washington, D.C. car plates, in taxation without representation. It's right on the bottom under the numbers. And you would think that it's like there's like a million cars that say they even own cars that they put that tag on the front and back of their car, and somehow it's not sinking into them that we are one gunshot away from Boston again.
yeah. And that's the hard part for me. I raised my hand and I swore an oath to protect and defend the Constitution against all enemies, foreign and domestic. And there's only one being in all of creation that can ever release me from that oath. And that's God. Because I swore this oath
To God.
To God that
in front of a bunch of big ass Marines too.
mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I served in the Navy. I knew over half of our Marine contingent on their ship because I used to go hang out with them. Whenever they'd go do target practice, I'd ask if I could participate. Had to go through a whole lot of paperwork for that. I got screwed out of my expert ribbons for qualifying on all the various weapons with the Marines when I was in. And that oath, even though I've died 5 times, God hasn't released me from my oath. And if these idiot chuckleheads who keep talking about wanting to go door to door and confiscate people's guns, they're going to walk over, but they're going to be leaving in big black bags. And I ain't talking about body bags because I'll break out Chippy. And then right on it, dumbass fertilizer, 100% dumbass. And that's how that'll go.
Well, it's gotten messy, that's for sure.
Oh yeah. I hate to do this, Miss Janet, but I'm gonna have to run.
Okay. Well, thank you very much for hanging out with us.
Kicking in.
Good. You have a good evening.
I'll look you up, Rich.
Hey,
I'll get with you.
Anytime you need me, Miss Janet, just send me the message and I will show up.
Well,
all right.
It's great getting to talk with you and the people you bring up on the panel, because these are issues I would love to talk about more on Fireside Chat, because to me it's all about an open discourse.
Mm-hmm.
That when you can disagree with someone,
Mhm.
but you don't have to hate them.
Mhm.
The biggest thing, takeaway I've earned through the wisdom of dying and everything else is the fact you have no control over what somebody else thinks, says, or does. You only have control over you. You're the only one who has control over what you think, what you say, and what you do.
Mhm.
This world would be a hell of a lot better place if everybody remembered that. And I close out my live streams by telling everyone you're not alone and you are loved. Because I know for a fact I love each and every one of you. That's the whole reason why I joined the military, swore an oath to protect and defend the Constitution, is I love and respect you guys a whole lot more than I do me. Thus, I try to live my life the best way I can to not make other people's lives miserable. Because I've been down, I've been out. I mean, I've been homeless twice in my life and needed work and was willing to do any job that came up, including washing dishes at a Waffle House.
Mhm.
Dude, Waffle House rocks. Come on now.
Yes, it does. One of my
Have you
favorite
seen
movies
the fights at Waffle House?
Yep. And
I saw Big Lulu there. She was hot as hell, 3 o'clock in the morning when you're drunk.
yep. And I'm
I
telling
bet.
you, I've been that person that someone just saying, I believe in you, don't give up, was just as important as somebody offering me a ride in the middle of the rain or giving me a lead to find a house that would get me and my wife and kids off the street. Simple kindness. These small little things you say and you do can have everlasting effect. So I try my best to be the best I can be. So remember that when you're out there, your words can make or break a person, and you only can have control over yourself. Nobody else.
Amen.
So be kind to each other. That's not me saying if some chucklehead walks up and punches the living Jesus out of you and don't defend yourself. Because
Mhm.
even Jesus said, if you don't have a sword, sell your cloak and buy one. Because he did believe in self-defense. He was kind of like my mama. You don't start a fight, you finish that bitch. But he didn't say it in those words. So everybody be good to each other. And thank you guys for having me. I enjoyed this. Anytime you need me, Miss Janet, I'm here for you.
Thank you
Sorry
very
I'm getting
much.
rambly, but my meds are kicking in.
But thank you. Thank
Nice to
you.
meet you, Rich.
You
You
too.
Good to
have
see
a
you
great
again,
week.
Rich.
Get a hold of me through Miss Janet. She'll point you in the right direction to my Discord.
I'll sure do it.
All right. Love you guys.
Back at you.
Take it
Bye now.
easy, bud. God
You
bless you.
too. And remember, man, wherever you go, there you are. One of my favorite movies.
I always say everywhere my nose goes, my ass is following me, and I can't promise you which one you're going to get.
I love that. I got to remember that. I'm going to write that down.
That's
Y'all
good.
be good.
You
Take
too.
care.
Later,
Bye
buddy.
bye. But this
Do I got
next
a candle?
thing I wanted to bring up was about a former Navy SEAL.
What's the scent?
Do what?
Dwarven Tavern. It's a little bit of house aged oak smoke, whiskey, a little bit of leather behind it too.
Mm-hmm.
This comes
Sounds
out of a
kind of
place called,
mannish.
it is. It's called Dwarven Tavern.
Okay, well, I want to play this.
That makes me
video.
want to go sit at Capitol Steak and Grill down there in D.C. on Independence Avenue, or Constitution. It's one of them. Damn good place to go eat. Ben Franklin used to eat there.
See, I smell it and I want to go back to the Minger Hotel. If you got any clue about San Antonio history, that was where Teddy Roosevelt got the Rough Riders set up at.
Yeah, I love to go to the Red Barn over there on 410. That's where all the skydivers, and we all go over there and eat. They got really good steaks, and it's a huge place, huge outside area. The Red Barn door.
I haven't been there for a while.
Yeah, I love that place. When I'm in San Antonio doing work at Fort Sam, I go.
Let me know when you're in town again.
I will. I'll be coming out to Texas at the beginning of August. I've got a friend out there that needs some help.
Okay.
Well, I want to play this video, guys. It's Senator.
You can't hear you.
I don't know why. I'll have to leave and come back. So give me a minute.
Is your mic on? I got to drop out and come back in. I'll be right back.
Can you guys hear me? All right. Janet, can you hear me? I hear you. Can you hear me?
Yeah,
I
hear you.
Yeah.
I could hear both of you talking, but you guys couldn't hear me, so I had to leave and come back. It's weird. I don't know why I'm having problems, but I have a video I want to play. So let me get it back up again. It's a former Navy SEAL, and I want to play what he has to say about this whole thing about what's going on with Iran. And I think it's important that we hear it. So here we go, especially coming from this guy, because he knows what he's talking about.
Senator from Montana. Thank you, Mr. President. Yesterday we saw the President of the United States and many others at Dover Air Force Base presiding over a ceremony that is very sacred to those of us who served, and that is a dignified return of remains from the war zone. And that process happens beginning in the war zone through Dover to the hometown of our fallen heroes. I participated in many of those ceremonies myself, to include carrying friends of mine off the plane. One of those on this bracelet. He was cut in half by an Iranian EFP. This regime that we are fighting does not care about our partisan politics. They don't care who you voted for, who you pray to, or where you live. They want to kill all of us. They don't just say it, they actually do it. They've been doing it for 47 years. This is a war of choice. The Democrats are correct. It's a war of choice that was begun by a radical, lunatic band of terrorists that took over a beautiful nation 47 years ago. Took it over with brutality, force, and savagery. And the second they took it over, they didn't free their people. They didn't unleash the largest oil reserves in the world to build schools and bridges. They took it over to murder their own people and to spread their disgusting ideology across the world. And that is exactly what they have been doing. They don't just say it and talk about it. You don't have to believe what they say. You can simply watch what they've done. They have attacked families, women, children, innocent people. They don't just attack them and kill them. They rape them. They skin them alive on camera. They celebrate it. They honor those people who do disgusting things that we would put in jail for the rest of their lives in this country. And they do it for fun, and they pay them money to do it, and they're heroes to that nation. They've done it to friends of mine. They've done it to families who've been in this chamber. The fact that we sit here and listen to elected officials of this country defend these lunatics who want us all dead. They want all of you dead. They want all of us dead. They don't want us to disappear with the snap of a finger. They want us to be raped, burned alive, and cut into pieces. Watch the video from October 7th. That's what they want to happen from Maine to San Diego, from Seattle to Miami. They want this country turned into a burning husk of its former self. And you don't have to theorize that. That's what they do. From the 1983 barracks bombing, where 280 Marines were vaporized in the morning, from USS Cole to the Achille Laurel to every terrorist attack, from the Houthis, Hezbollah, Hamas. These are not humanitarian freedom organizations. They are death-dealing cults, and they want all of us to die brutal deaths. William Buckley was abducted in 1985, an American military officer. He was skinned alive on camera by the Iranians. American prisoners of war who were captured. They were never called prisoners of war because they were captured by lunatic terrorists, so they were not subject to the Geneva Convention. They were captured and murdered, power drills through their brains. This is in Iraq. These are families that have dealt with this, and they've never gotten a single dime. These families have never gotten restitution, and not a single president has ever stood up to them. Love Donald Trump or hate him. Love his policies, hate ICE, love ICE, whatever. There's never been a single president who has stood up to Iran and hit back. For 47 years, our troops and our families have been absorbing attack after attack after attack all over the world. And their radical ideology does not stop at the Persian Gulf. It doesn't stop at Tel Aviv. They want to do this everywhere. It's a global radical ideology. And we've been fighting it for half a century. We didn't start this war. We did not, but we will finish it. And forever wars are not popular with anybody these days. Both sides of that, I love to attack our forever wars. And I can promise you, being someone overseas wearing the uniform, when you're fighting for your country, you don't care what party's in office, but you're fighting to defend your country. You turn on the news and see your elected officials stabbing you in the back, telling you that you're failing, that you failed every goal of the war. Is what I just heard. Last time I checked, we've wiped these bastards out. An occasional missile strike and boats in the strait, that's not military strength. Those are the flailings of a failing empire. Those are the flailings of a nation in collapse because they deserve it. So I encourage our colleagues on both sides of the aisle, whatever's politically convenient, whatever plays well on Twitter or Facebook, think about the people who are deployed right now, standing on that wall with a loaded weapon, who have volunteered to defend our country and our way of life. Because they are there defending us in a just war. Because we did not start a war with the Iranian Revolutionary Guard. They started it with us 47 years ago, and their attacks have gone unanswered for half a century. It's time to fix this problem and make sure another generation of Americans does not have to fight this murderous, savage adversary. Thank you, Mr. President.
Awesome. And
did you watch those Reza Pahlavi videos that I put in the Friday night shit show?
yeah, I watched a couple of them.
And if you follow him, so let me give you the lowdown on all of that. That's my dad was heavily involved in the hostage release and all that kind of stuff, and I was doing some things then already. So our CIA, Reza had kind of slipped, you know, he just had gotten, his dad died, and he's the new Shah, and he started fucking with the money. You know, he was living a lavish lifestyle, and his people were poor and all of that. So the Khomeini, not Khomeini, but Khomeini, the first one, was in London, exiled in London. And so MI6 and CIA worked with him to replace Pahlavi. So in a roundabout way, we did do that. And I wanted to even mention this earlier when somebody brought up in the comments about the great Satan and the little Satan. Mm-hmm. That was never said. That was never said until the day that Ayatollah Khomeini took power, went and took the hostages at the school. And when he was saying what he was going to do with the hostages, he was saying at that time, it was the first time anybody called America the Great Satan. And basically, he was trying to get the people who supported Pahlavi to switch allegiance and support him.
Yeah.
But everything that that guy said is absolutely right. But it's not just 47 years, it's thousands of years. It's thousands of years. And you got OSS was World War I and II, that turned into CIA, you know, the Mossad, all of this stuff. You can say what you want. I'm one of those guys. I am one of those guys, a real live ghost. And I see things and do things. I have bagged dead people on the battlefield. I've seen these slaughtered men, had to go and talk to people's families. You know, when you're taking care of one that's come home and they expire in the hospital, and you have to go talk to the family of these people and all of that emotion and all that, man, I'm telling you, if that's my PTSD doesn't come from bullet holes, stab wounds, and bombs that went off. It comes from having to listen to a piece of shit like Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez or watch this fuckwad Zoran Mamdani. I'm telling you, man, when you have to touch dead people and talk to their families, it changes you. Those people took an oath when they got in office that is exactly what Richard said that he had to take. And what it says is you will defend the Constitution. And the one place that we have really fallen in this country is that if you're an elected official, you're not anybody's fucking boss. You're a servant, and you do what your people tell you to do. And if this Save America Act doesn't pass, I'm telling you, man, it's going to turn into something that it's not going to be good. It's just not going to be good. And they're up there playing their political games. They're driving everybody crazy. It probably will pass. You know, it should pass, right? If 80%, 90% of Americans want something and our government refuses to do it, that's why we have a Second Amendment. That is exactly why we have a Second Amendment. So yeah, that's all of that is touchy to me. I had a friend, Mike Weaver, who's alive. He's a friend of mine up in Nashville, drives limos for a lot of music stars and stuff. He was in those barracks in Beirut when that vehicle hit it. He was there in the building, right? So when you actually meet people who have endured these nightmares, I'm telling you, it changes you. And if I don't know, I had to watch the videos from October 7th, right? I knew it was going to happen before it happened. I tried to tell everybody, nobody wanted to hear it. And on October 10th, I got swatted by the VA and put in a fucking hospital. And when I got out, I had to watch those videos. And I'm telling you, the atrocities, the skinning people, the raping little 18-month-old children and throwing them in an oven while they're alive. Are you serious? These fucking people like AOC and Mamdani and this new Abdullah guy and the people, and then you got ex-CIA agents like the bitch that got elected to be the governor of Virginia. So help me God, man, hell ain't hot enough for them.
Well, remember,
The sooner they get there, the better.
Remember the whole thing with Israel in October when they were all those people went in and started killing people? Remember that?
Oh yeah, I know too much
Well,
about it.
I go to a lot of spaces on X, and I went to a bunch of spaces with a bunch of friends of mine that are Jews, and listened as they found different bodies in some of the homes that were burnt down, because a lot of the homes, remember, had safe rooms in them. So a lot of the families, the parents fought why they got their kids in the safe room. The kids were alive, but the house was burnt down after the parents were murdered, right?
Yeah, 1,200 people died. There
Okay.
was all kind of numbers people were saying and everything, but the actual official number is there were 1,200 homicides, and then they took the hostages.
Well, one of the things that really made me realize, so when Trump was saying we can't let them have nuke, blah, 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 all this different stuff. I agree, because when I saw one of the autopsies that they did on a mother and her kid, I couldn't understand where this comes from. And to me, it's pure evil. Okay. When he described the autopsy as two people that were killed but burnt to a crisp, guess what? They took wire and wired the baby to the mother in her arms, and they wired them together. They were tied up together. So that mother died while she held her burning baby, screaming and crying, and they both died that way. That's what the last things that they went through. I don't know what happened to him before, because just like what he was saying about raping and torturing and stuff like that, it's only the devil would tell his people that you can lie and deceive and do whatever you want to these people because they're beneath you. Does that sound like Jesus Christ? Does that sound like a God that loves his people? It sounds like the devil. Just kill as many as you can take down with you, and then I'm going to give you all the wonderful, horrible, nasty, disgusting, perverted things you want when you come stay with me in my heaven, right? That's what it sounds like to me. So every time I hear them talking about them getting them 47 virgins and whatever else, after doing what they did to that mother and baby in her arms, and enjoyment, and then seeing what they did to those women, raping them, and they dragged them out of the back of the vehicle after I don't know how many men had raped them, and their pants are covered with blood around their anus and down between their legs, because they've probably been raped by hundreds of men. That woman that sold herself on I think it was OnlyFans, she had like 100 and something men, one after the other, and she had to go to the emergency room because her inside started to fall out, and she wanted that. She was doing it for money. But these young girls that were murdered in October, when they went over the border into their country and just started murdering people, okay, they did that to young girls that didn't ask for it. They didn't sign up for OnlyFans and whatever else, or being on the porn. These were people that just feel like everything belongs to them and they can do whatever they want, that no one has a life but them. You are a piece of shit. You're a piece of dirt to them. You're not even a human being. And if you're walking your dog, you're going to get it even worse. Okay. Or if you're eating a piece of bacon or any of those things that they detest, they don't care. Someone like me that would tell them to fuck off, they who knows what they do? They draw and quarter me. You know, who
Well,
knows what,
they the rabbi that I follow for teaching and wisdom, Manis Friedman, he's been the marriage counselor for the Jews in Moshe in Manhattan since the 70s. And a family member of one of the people who was killed sent a video of their son singing the most beautiful song about Judaism and loving God and making sacrifices for God on the way over there, and he was killed. You know, there was another lady that I was able to be in a room with that was telling a story. It was a grandmother, right? Her son and his wife were there. They had a 2-year-old, and that grandmother had to watch her daughter be raped, watch the baby be raped, and then they killed her son right in front of him. They marched him over and made him get on his knees and shot him in the head. And the reason those women were bleeding is because they were using their AK-47s and raping them anally with the barrels of their guns, with those sights ripping flesh and all that. Believe me, I had to watch all that. And then I saw those personal stories and stuff that I had to, it's like, oh my God, I don't know what they were trying to do to me, but when I hear AOC open her mouth, I get ugh.
How can they get so many people to join their church and to follow their leader? And what's sad about it is they can't even get women to want to do it. They have to force them into doing it. Okay.
No, that all of this started back when Khomeini went in '79.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, they started. Every boy had to go to a monastery school, kind, Islamic, and they were, by the time they were 6 years old, they were shooting machine guns, and all they were taught was that we were evil and we needed to die, and the Jews needed to be wiped off the planet. In 1979, now you ponder that a minute. Those men are 50 years old. There have been 4 generations of children grow up going through those indoctrination camps of hate and all of that stuff. And what a child is born innocent, right? And what makes them not innocent anymore is their parents. Parents love their children more than anything in the world. They try to do the right thing, but your kids remember your mistakes and they resent that, and then it becomes a part of their life. So if you got a healthy family together and they're trying to function and they have that going on, just think about what happens to the mind of a 4-year-old that the only thing they've ever heard is that we need to die. So that's the answer to your question. And we have let them there, they kneel in the streets of this country and block traffic.
Yeah, I know.
They think they got
They
us.
have huge mosques, yet they want to cover the streets and put their blankets down and pray towards Mecca because they're showing you they own you. They own your community. They're taking over every inch of your community and you're giving it to them. And most of us are paying their way. They're not
Yeah,
even
but I
taking.
played soccer with Iranians in the 70s.
Mhm.
And we all got along great, right? There was Muslims on the team. There was Catholic black people from London. There were people from Mexico and all this other shit, man. And we were called Augusta United. We were in a semi-pro league and nobody could beat us. And we had a unity you wouldn't believe. And from there to now, is where all of that occurred. They were a secular Western civilization. They had rock and roll, drinking, and all this other stuff. And when Khomeini came in, all of that ended. A woman couldn't show her face. If they show their face now, they get beheaded in the town square,
Mhm.
right? So, yeah, since 1979, that's been going on.
Well, this next thing that I wanted to bring up has something to do with that. Not so much with the same beliefs in religion, but the fact that they think that people are pieces of meat for their sale to use as they see fit. It doesn't matter that you have a loved one or a child or anything that's not theirs. They just take what they want. Okay. And we have people that we put in office because we voted for them, we thought, um, and they're laying us up like we're a buffet for these people. They don't want to send these people back over to their countries. They've done these things over and over again. And ICE has been trying to fight all of these people and the people we put in office and the people that think they're doing the right thing by standing in front of ICE vehicles, taking their kids out there like it's a picnic or something. And I don't understand it. I can't understand why anyone would defend someone that has brutally raped or murdered someone, but yet they'll risk their life getting shot by a bullet to stop a criminal from getting shot by ICE when they're here illegally. You know, they're breaking the law, and they'd kill all those people that are standing in front of them without a bother and not and lose a night's sleep. But these people are doing it because they're brainwashed also, I believe, because they don't have any they must not have nothing worth living for or something. I don't know. I have no idea. I don't understand it, and I hope I never do, because if I ever understood, I probably would be just like them. But I want to play this because to me this is important. I played a little bit of him earlier, but it says Mark Wayne Mullen just exposed the pure evil. Innocent children trafficked across an open border were raped 600 to 700 times, locked in rooms, forced to service monsters day after day. And what's sicking, more sick than even this stuff, is the fact that we have people lining up people that shop, that own property, that are probably married and have families of their own, they're lining up to abuse these people. That's the sick part. And that's why they're fighting tooth and nail to stop these people from being able to bring more victims to them. Because once we cut the supply chain off, who are they going to get? Their own kids? They're probably already doing that to their own kids. But the thing is we got to weed out all of these people. Okay, not just the ones that are walking over the border and breaking the law, or the people that are running for office and holding the fort down to make sure that nobody comes in and takes them, or stops this money flow, or they got to make sure this stays open so that guy can get away with it. You know, those people, the customers, all the customers that buy these young people to molest and do whatever they want to, and to buy drugs to use on themselves and other people, or whatever they're doing with all this stuff, that's who's going to suffer. But guess what? Our suffering will stop we'll start rejoicing when we start seeing these people held accountable. And they're doing it. It's just that there's so much of it. It's going to take years and years and years to prosecute all of the people that we're just now finding out about. Okay, because we have a system where we have courts. Okay, we have laws because we have a constitution, and we want to make sure that whoever does go to court is found guilty by a jury of their peers. And if they are, then we put them in jail. But we have to get rid of the crappy judges that say, well, the jury wanted them to have 60 years, but I think 20 is more than enough. See, they shouldn't have the right to do that. We, the people, are the ones that made the decision when we sat on that jury and watched and looked at the evidence. So we've got so much work to do, and we got to keep fighting or for our children and our grandkids. I mean, that's who we're fighting for. And to me, it's worth it. It's worth doing this every single day. If I can just get one person a week to open their eyes and go, man, we got a lot of work to do. We got to get this stuff cleaned up. And these people are trying to clean it up. And all they're getting is hate from the media and all these other people that are paying the media to spread lies, and not even have the president of the United States be able to speak on national TV because he's telling lies. He's full of shit. We have to verify what he's saying beforehand, even though he's releasing classified documents to prove what he's saying is the truth. And that's despicable. And I can't believe a single person that has a family of their own that's ever held a baby that their wife or daughter has given birth to in their arms, thinking that kind of stuff it should be normal. This kind of stuff that's going on that these people are trying to stop. Well, I'm gonna go ahead and play this and quit getting off my rant here. But here we go.
Of the worst. You know, I tell people that I haven't quit smiling since I've been Secretary of the Department of Homeland Security, but I have to take that back, because when we start digging into these cases, and you start hearing the absolute horrific things that took place underneath the Biden administration, under true neglect at best and criminal at worst, to allow 450,000 kids to go missing throughout this country. President Trump has made it a point to go find these kids. And because of our partnership with HHS and DOJ, Department of Homeland Security, truly using the best, which the Democrats sometimes want to demonize, because a lot of times this is ICE, this is HSI, this is CBP. These individuals that the Democrats seem to want to defund, but because of President Trump, we finally funded them for 3 years. We're able to push and go find these kids. We found 146,000 kids so far. 146,000 kids. We still have nearly 300,000 missing. We're investigating reports to where some of these kids claim that they were raped 600 to 700 times. I don't care who you are. I don't care if you have kids, if you don't have kids. I don't care if you're a liberal, you're independent, you're a Democrat, you're a Republican. If you can't stand for law enforcement to go find these kids, who are you? Who are you? Every leader should understand what's going on. And do you know where we're finding the most of them? Sanctuary cities.
Of course.
Because they know they're safe.
Yeah, let me tell you about this, Janet. That part of the Epstein situation, and Fauci's name has been involved in this as well. Many of those children were used for organ trafficking, and they're never going to find them. And we have people that have come forward and testified and even have where they got paid. And people would say, no, you're not taking my kids. They're like, no, here's $10,000. And if you open your mouth, we're going to kill you. And we have videotapes of these interrogations with these people. And Oregon, and there's a global website that traffics, that keeps up with trafficking. Okay. Now, few years ago, they said 9 million immigrants were in America that had been trafficked, not walked across the border, but were trafficked here. And they said most of them were slaves to labor or the sex business, right? And at that time, 41 million people were missing worldwide, and over half of them were taken to get organs from for rich people. Now, if there's any reason they don't want to keep digging on that, it's because they don't want to tell that truth, that we had a government that supported and paid people that were doing this, trafficking human beings for a spleen or a pancreas or a liver or lungs or heart, whatever they were going to get. And that's the reality of how bad it was. And I hate to be the one to say that out loud, but all I'm doing is reporting what is available out there by international agencies that Interpol supports, FBI supports, MI6, even Russian intelligence helps on this. Nobody thinks that's okay. That's where that joke came from. When Putin went to go to China and he was walking with Xi, and they had a hot mic on, and he was laughing. He goes, oh, yeah, you can live forever now. You just buy new organs. That's what they were poking fun at, because unfortunately, it made it to America, and that was his way of leaking that out. So, no, it's not as bad as you think it is. It's 10,000 times worse. And I'll shut up now.
Well, the thing is, I say it all the time. I played different interviews with some of the Epstein victims, and a few of them have also said that when I was taken there, I wasn't abused sexually at certain times. I was taken to keep the young ones calm and talk to them when they were doing experiments on them. Okay. So
it's really bad.
Yeah, it's very deep, and anybody can go right now to the website that the government's posted right now with the Epstein stuff, videos, emails, phone calls, photographs. I mean, and they got tons and tons of evidence up there. Now, if you can stomach it, you should go look at it. All I hear is that's so redacted. Yeah, some of it is, but guess what? Innocent people were involved, and their names shouldn't be on there, and have everybody and their brother have their names, period. So I don't give a crap whether you like that part of it or not. But if you want to find out what happened, go read. It's that simple. And guess what? It's there. It's there all day long. You can go read to your heart's content, and then make up your own mind. Okay? But I don't care what you say or anyone else says. Those people that were innocent, that weren't involved in any of the things, their names shouldn't be released. I don't care what any of these people say. But the thing is, this would all end if they didn't have customers. So we got to remember that. The only reason they're making money is because people are willing to pay for kids.
If they didn't have doctors willing to do the surgeries, they wouldn't have customers.
That's right.
And those are the same doctors that dumped a biological weapon on the entire Western world and then killed a bunch more with stupid shit like midazolam and opioids and ventilators that drown people. I mean, Jesus Christ. These are the same people that those idiots that we're talking about that will support the Islamic invasion also don't think Fauci did anything wrong. It's like, okay, bring me your grandson. I've got a friend that needs a liver. If it's nothing, bring your kid over here. I'm sure Tony Fauci will arrange for the sale of that liver.
Yeah,
It's
terrible.
disgusting.
It is disgusting. Just like what he just said, who could possibly think that this is okay? And those are the people that vote no every time. When we were trying to release the names of people that were, when they voted on releasing names of people that were taking money and paying off people, you know, like for sexual harassment and stuff, all of them voted no, not to release the names. So, this is what we get. When we coddle these people and we keep electing them, putting them back up there to lie, cheat, and steal from us, then we deserve what we get. And it's time for us to stand up and take back what's ours. And hopefully a lot of people will. But this next thing is another little thing that goes along with the rest of it. Some people are getting fed up and they're deciding that this isn't how I don't want to be remembered like this, but here we go. It's a Democrat from Florida. His name is Jason Pizzo, I think. So here we go.
My boys. Guys, I'm excited for this. Makes me happy, clean and clear. And here's the issue. The Democratic Party in Florida is dead. Good. There are good people that can resuscitate it. They don't want it to be me. That's not convenient. It's not cool. I'm not having a Jerry Maguire moment right now, like, who's coming with me? But that's the truth. The party that my dad volunteered for in JFK when he was 18 years old in 1960 is not the party today. It craves and screams anarchy and then demands amnesty. That's not okay. I've always been criticized by the far left and by the far right. A caucus meeting later this afternoon where I hope that the members of the Democratic caucus will elect a new leader. For today, I FedExed my voter registration form to change my party affiliation to no party affiliation. Joe Scott should receive that by 8 a.m. tomorrow morning in Broward County. And here's why. Our constituents are craving practical leaders, not political hacks. We are entrusted to be guided by our conscience. While I suppose it's easier in theory than it is in application, even my worst detractors have no valid claim that I can be bullied, that I can be bought, or even borrowed for a special interest.
So even though everybody says nothing's going to change, nothing's going to get better, blah, 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 the naysayers, okay? Yes, it's going to be a lot of work. It's going to be tough to root out all this fraud, but Trump and his team are doing it. And then look how long it's taken. And we got so many people that we voted thinking when they ran on Make America Great Again, and they're sitting there dragging their feet. They can't even pass the Save America Act that says no illegals can vote in our elections. If you're not an American citizen, you shouldn't vote in Americans' elections. It's that simple. But yet we have people fighting tooth and nail to not pass this. And November's coming really quickly. Because
we need moderate people to take the Democratic Party back over. They need to, I don't know, maybe even get somebody on the right that's, Rich brought up a really good point. Trump was a Democrat his entire life. Do you know why he ran for the Republican presidency? Because it was there was a void there. It was a vacuum. It was a just walk in and do it, right? Everybody else was a rhino and knew about all this gross stuff I've been talking about the last 20 minutes. They knew all of that. They knew every bit of it. The same doctors that are killing people for their organs are the same ones that abort millions of our future, right? They also change the sex of innocent children. Okay, when I was 7 or 8, I played with G.I. Joe. It didn't make me a girl, right? It's just children. And if a child at
I played
11
with
goes
G.I.
in and,
Joe.
yeah, if a child goes in the counselor's office and says, oh, I had a feeling about so and so. And then the counselor takes that normal feeling all children have growing up, figuring out who they are before the concrete age of thinking that's 12. And so they change their sex when they're 8 because they came in and said they played with a Barbie doll with their next door neighbor girlfriend. I'm like, that's a heterosexual right there. That's a man doing what men do. I don't know what I got to do to get next to her, but I'm going to do it. I'll play with dolls. And then go tell the counselor, and the counselor goes, well, that means you're gay. We're going to take your penis and give you titties so you can play with dolls. It's like, what? These people are so sick. They're not human. That's what I said. There are people walking around this planet right now that do not have a soul. If you can fucking stand up, carry a Palestinian flag over people who raped 2-year-olds, 18, 15 months, threw them in a fucking oven, and if you can stand there and raise their flag and say those people don't have souls. If they have anything in them, it's a demon. And that's where I talk to people. This is spiritual warfare. Tom Cotton says it. Josh Hawley says it. Rand Paul says it. A lot of people are getting up in front of the mic in the Senate and saying that out loud, and that's a fact. This is spiritual warfare, and people don't care. They don't care. All that's fine until they knock on your door and ask for your kid because they need a liver. And there are people who will sell their children so they can go buy some more ice to smoke or go get some cocaine or whatever the fucking goofball shit they're trying to do. And they will sell women sell their children to their drug dealers. You can keep my daughter over here 3 days. Just give me a bag. It goes on every single day across this country. And the cartels are the drug dealers. They don't give a shit. They raped and left girls all over the desert for 5 years under Joe Biden that got eaten by crows and vultures and whatever else wanted to eat them.
Yeah,
These
terrible.
people think that's okay. I promise you, they don't have a soul. There is no way you can look at something like that and say, well, yeah, whatever. There's no whatever to that. There is no whatever to that. That is show up at their house, drag them out the fucking door. And I'm not going to go into what Bruce says, but I'm not allowed to talk like that because of my job, but I'm telling you right now, I could be a cheerleader for some of the shit he says because it really is that way. You tar and feather them, then you hang them and quarter and draw them. During the Revolutionary War, when they say they drew and quartered somebody, here's what they did. They beheaded them, they cut their arms off, and they cut their legs off, and they laid it in a pile, and they left them on the side of the road so British people who were still loyalists walking between towns would see that shit and they'd go, yeah, I don't think I support the king
let's not
anymore.
do that. Let's not support this.
Yeah, that's right. And sometimes it has to be like, that's why Trump's bombing the shit out of them. That's why BB Netanyahu's bombing the shit out of them. It's like, oh, okay, if it's okay to do that, we're going to play that game too. They got nothing. It'll stop when we say it. It reminds me of a thing they used to say in group meetings I attended and shit like that. You know when you're done fucking a gorilla? When the gorilla's done fucking you.
That's right.
You got no choice in that shit whatsoever. And the gorilla is all over these sick motherfuckers right now, I'm telling you. And if they keep on fighting back and don't realize they won some battles. They got Obama in office. They let him win battles. They got Biden back in. They won. They have lost the
But
war.
they didn't do it by themselves.
Yeah,
So,
they
I mean,
lost the
that's
war, and
sad-
they better
that's the
wake
sad
up to that
truth.
shit.
It was just the people that think they know everything in Iran, in their government and in their military. I don't think it would be as bad as it is, but it's people in our country and in other countries that have money and means that are supporting these people to commit these crimes for whatever sick purpose they have. But that's how come they're able to do and get away with things that they do. As many of these people, it's because there's more people behind them. But I want to play this Glenn Beck video that I found. That I think it's very informative. But the thing is, all of this goes hand in hand. You know, one thing after the other.
Let me tell you what's happening with
It's all connected.
the Tate brothers. Tate brothers, social media influencers, were handcuffed and shackled in federal court yesterday as their attorneys vowed to fight an extradition request from the United Kingdom on sex crime charges, including rape and sex trafficking. Brothers were arrested by U.S. Marshals Saturday on their way to a bare-knuckle boxing event in Miami. What's crazy is, Governor DeSantis said, "You come into Miami, and I'm going to arrest you." And they didn't take him seriously. You know, one thing about DeSantis, you should always take him seriously. So, what's happening with these guys? Okay. Between 2010 and 2017, Andrew Tate, 39, charged with 42 offenses, including 7 further counts of rape, 3 counts of arranging or facilitating trafficking for sexual exploitation, 3 counts of assault occasioning actual bodily harm, and 19 charges related to indecent images of a child and extreme pornography. Tristan, his brother, 38, faces 17 charges, including 2 counts of rape, 1 count of sexual assault, 3 counts of arranging or facilitating trafficking for sexual exploitation. These are all building on earlier UK charges of rape, bodily harm, and trafficking. Now, so the brothers deny all of these allegations. UK prosecutors are seeking their extradition from the United States because they were arrested in Miami. Now, Andrew Tate is on video talking about branding, beating, and grooming women. And somehow he took that worldview and twisted it into a right-wing grift, okay? And he became highly influential, especially to our sons. He filled the internet with videos teaching young men how to pimp and violently rape women and post about how women are born to be sex workers by nature. Now, I don't know about your understanding of the right wing, but that doesn't sound like the voice of any movement I understand. Yet that's what he tried to become. And America's boys were vulnerable. Why? Because, as I was lining out earlier, who are they preying on? They are preying on the disaffected. How are our young boys disaffected? They have been marginalized. They have been told manhood is something that it absolutely is not, that a man can be a woman and have babies, and men should be compliant and sit down and they're too violent, and masculinity is toxicity and all of this crap. Okay. Men are men for a reason. Now, you can be toxic. You can be a man who just is like Andrew Tate. That's toxic masculinity. Okay. But to be masculine, and you're a defender of women, you are a defender of the weak, that's good masculinity, okay? And he was able to tap into the anger of the young men and boys, rightly feeling like they're living in a society where it's over-feminized. So we backed these men into a corner. We didn't. The left did. The left backed these young men into a dark corner. And in that dark corner was Andrew Tate. And instead of telling them to be ashamed, he told them to be proud. Instead of being submissive, he told them you have a right to dominate, which is a twist of everything good and wholesome, okay? He put on the cloak of traditionalism and even religiosity. He converted to Islam. And he said, I hate feminism too. I hate wokeness too. I hate, fill in the blank. That mutual hate became the basis of his influence. And that's how he snuck into the minds of our kids. And he wasn't immediately kicked out of our tent. Disaffected young men ran to evil like the Tate brothers when they thought they had nowhere else to go to be accepted. That's the thing you need to understand. Our children are looking for acceptance. They want to be part of a club. And that's why it's so hard to get them to understand traditional values, the Constitution, the United States, and to be patriotic, because at their age, those clubs are practically being beaten to death. You are a pariah on campus.
Is your mic on, Janet?
A lot of people seem to hate Glenn Beck, but every single thing he said in this video was 100% spot on, I feel. I talk about it all the time, about traditions, sitting at the table and having dinner with your family every night, talking about what you did during the day, connecting with your kids, and expecting them to do certain things, expecting them to clean their rooms, to have chores, to do well in school, so that one day when you are no longer available, they can take care of themselves, so they can feed themselves, they can dress themselves, they can drive and get a job and take care of their own families. But
I'll just add to what he said and say that that's the way the Crips and the Bloods work. That's the way MS-13 works. Children are out just running around and they got nothing to connect to, and they want to be in a gang. And the next thing you know, they are told you got to go and do a drive-by shooting for your initiation. Mm-hmm. Right? Same exact theory at work. And it's been going on in America since the 1980s with rap music that talked about killing cops, that referred to women as bitches and whores, right? Mm-hmm. Totally degrading everyone. And so this goes to the entertainment industry. It goes to a government that just turned their head like, well, right? And so, yeah, then they come in here from Romania and start pulling that same shit with social media. Mm-hmm. Not kids walking around on the street, but thousands of them listening at a time in groups where they can chat. Then they start feeding off each other's shit. And the next thing you know, you're living in an anti-Semitic nation, which, excuse me, but the last time that happened in a free world, it was in 1938 in Germany. That's what we are today.
What?
Nah, he spake it pretty closely to what I was wanting to hit on. He's good. I'm good. I'm sorry.
Well, I got it. It's all right. No big deal.
I mean, here's the thing about a frog. You can take a frog and put him in boiling water and he's dead. You can also take a frog and put him in a pot of water and boil that pot of water, and it will still be alive when the water's boiling. And that's what happened in American culture. And they allowed it. Parts of people who were elected didn't just allow it, they accentuated it. The Department of Education, higher education, where they hired Muslim teachers to come in with their radical ideology. And I hate using the term Iran. We are not in a war with Iran. We are in a war with the IRGC and all of their little, groups they send out to do their bidding. And they've let many of them into this country. Joe Biden they flew them over here. Right there. Let me tell you this one thing that we caught Michelle Obama doing.
Oh, God.
So Air Force Two, right, is the vice president uses it, this, and that, and the other. Michelle Obama was flying that to Somalia day and night and bringing Somalians into this country using the presidential task air group, right? Where were how you got pissed off about Dan Bongino? Where were these people? Well, they swore an oath to the Constitution, and we elected a terrible person. And that person switched sides in the war, stopped, started talking about Israel, started talking about Netanyahu. Netanyahu is back in office the same way Trump is back in office. And when Netanyahu went out of office, they had the LGBTQ rise, they had the DEI rise, and all of that stuff that they did in America was going on in Israel at that time.
Mm-hmm.
And this goes back to the globalist. And I'm telling you, I could write their names down, these people. I've been doing this so long. Right, I'm 65. I started being a part of the. We were trying to stop it, and we were being suppressed and told we couldn't talk about things. A lot of things I'm talking about tonight, if I walked out my door 10 years ago, I'd have been shot dead. Right, we have a president now who's willing to do this, and it's not just like an argument. This is a fight. It is a physical fight that we're going to have to physically fix by removing these people and by forcing people, if they what Theodore Roosevelt said in 1908, if you want to be an American, that's fine, but acclimation matters, and if you don't acclimate, we will send you home. And he sent them home. And then Dwight David Eisenhower sent 700,000 or 800,000 people home, and he did it in 6 weeks. During the during World War II, right? When he first got in office, I think was 52 maybe, and he started deporting people who were speaking against America. That's the America that I want to live in. And I think I even mentioned this about voting. If you got somebody that grew up working in the American fields and they get their money and you say, look, come over here and register. We're not going to arrest you. We're going to give you ID and you're going to pay taxes. Because what they do is they come over here, farmers pay them cash, right? They take that money after the growing season and go back to Mexico and live like kings over there with that money. And then they come over here and they do their little 3 or 4 months of work. I got that information directly from the immigrant welfare officer of Nashville, Tennessee, in a VA emergency room one day during COVID, because his son had COVID. And I was in there because I was on chemo and needed something. I don't remember what it was. And he and I had this talk, right? And I would, like I said, I would rather those people have a right to vote who would pay taxes and work than the person who's down in their basement with a gamepad in their hand all the time being brainwashed like the likes of the Tate brothers, right? There's gray area in here that we can work with to rebuild a nation that has the same focus and drive and appreciates what liberty means. And appreciates all those bodies that have been buried over it, right? I lost plenty of my ancestors in wars. My father gave his entire life to this country, and I watched him die post-COVID, cancer all blown out of hell, took a vaccine because the military nursing home he was in, not a nursing home, it was like a, very exclusive, very expensive. And they forced my mother and father to take the vaccine, and both of them died. Both of them. No, it's personal to me. But I think that they gave us a system where we could replace people. And that's why the vote matters. That's why Save America Act matters. And the people who are fighting against that have no love for this country. They have no love for us. They like that great big pile of money that they can all just grab it out of, USAID, all of it. There's Republicans guilty in that, Democrats guilty in that, and until they're willing to look left and look right in that house that belongs to the American people and identify and point and say, forgiveness goes a long way. If you can admit you're wrong. If Tony Fauci would have said, I had a good intention, but it really went wrong. people would have a very different attitude about him. But he continues to lie, continues to cover up. And here we are. What are we talking about? Calling out the fraud,
Yep.
right? Until they're
Just
willing to
put
have
your
fist
mask
fights on the
back
floor of
on.
the House, we're never going to get anywhere.
Put the mask over the face. Put your mask back on. That's what you're supposed to do. If you would have read my 1984 dissertation of the AIDS virus, and you would have known all we had to do to limit AIDS was put a mask on the gays so they wouldn't be exhaling and putting the splooge exhale all over the neighborhoods, because the mask was all you needed. That's all you had to do. And if you decided to pull your dick out, put a rubber on it. Yeah. But the mask was so important. And America doesn't like the mask. We don't have superheroes in North America. Nobody wants to put the mask on. Nobody wants to be the hero of the day. It sucks. But my name's Anthony Fauci, and I'm going to go run off with my millions of dollars that I've made since the 1980s off the backs of the working class. Yeah.
Terrible.
Yeah, it's right, though.
I know, but
I mean, imagine somebody who will stand up and say, I am science. Don't listen to anybody else. What I say is all that matters. I am
Don't pay
science.
any attention to those faggots on
I didn't
CNN
fall for
unless
it.
they say what I said.
I didn't fall for it. But this next thing I think is important. It says FBI Director Kash Patel and CIA Director John Radcliffe have just released a trove of documents proving that the FBI planted and tampered with evidence during their raid of President Trump's Mar-a-Lago home. They also knew that they didn't have probable cause to raid his home in the first place, but the Biden administration put enormous pressure on them to raid President Trump's home anyway. A senior Biden official has quoted saying, I don't give a shit what the optics look like. The case was all a big lie, and Jack Smith and his team fabricated the entire thing. The criminal cases against Trump were the Biden administration's own version of Russiagate. It was a coup attempt meant to take down President Trump and prevent him from his return to the White House by illegally weaponizing the justice system against their political opponent. Each and every one of them should spend the rest of their lives in federal prison for a high treason. God bless Kash Patel and John Radcliffe for exposing the truth in this bombshell documents. And I'm going to play this for you real quick. Here we go.
Yeah, so the famous photograph, what we have now learned, and the government has had, Jack Smith and his prosecutors have had to admit that that was staged. And those top secret classified sheets that all the public saw and said, oh my God, look at those top secret documents, those were placed there by the FBI. What Jack Smith admitted in court this week was that, in his word, they mishandled the classified documents and misrepresented those to the court. Maria, that's a kind way of saying we tampered with the evidence, then we lied to the court about it. And they got caught when President Trump's lawyers and the other co-defendants raised this issue and said, look, the documents here don't match up. The documents that were presented to us don't match the digitally scanned records of when they were taken from Mar-a-Lago. And Jack Smith, not only did they tamper with that and lie to the court about it, but he's now admitted to the court that he doesn't know how that happened. He's only offered a number of possible explanations for how that could have happened. So he's absolutely blown the chain of custody. And again, he has a prosecutor, lead prosecutor in this case, Jay Bratt, who met with White House counsel and a representative of the National Archives in several times in the weeks before Jack Smith was even appointed. This reeks of crossfire hurricane when the Obama-Biden administration fabricated evidence before the FISA court, lied to the court about it to pursue Donald Trump, and now we're seeing it again in this classified documents case. The judge could dismiss this case at any point in time, Maria. I think the only reason
Janet, volume.
The fact that Trump has been able to deal with all of this shit, one after the other, after another, all lies. It's all been proven lies. declassifying all the stuff about the election, which we all knew. Most of us with common sense realized they were cheating out the wazoo just from watching some of the videos that were coming out. The laptop of Hunter Biden. Okay, I saw so much nasty shit on it. The videos that came out of all the dogs that were dying in the laboratories that Fauci was giving injections to, all that stuff.
It was dogs. Those were beagles. Beagles are not dogs. Beagles have a sound that come out of their little mouths, and they're so terrible. I hate the sound of beagles. I was so happy when the people said we can ship you. We got like 300 beagles, or you can get 10 Great Danes. What do you want? Oh, give me other beagles. Fuck the beagles.
But the thing is, all of this stuff, one after the other, all connects because it's all the same people high up that were in charge of all of it to make sure that this went there, that went there, this was that, and all this different stuff. And the people like in the state of Arizona that won, knowing that they shouldn't be there because they were owned. You know, they're owned by someone else, not the people that supposedly voted for them. So that's the truth, and it's finally coming out. And now we just have to get our people off their ass and finish getting judges in there so that we can have real judges on the bench when these people are brought before them that aren't going to just go bad and go home. You know, that kind of shit.
I got 2 words: military tribunals.
Yeah, I hope.
If Congress continues to block this, corrupt judges and judges trying to mandate national policy from the bench until they put those people in front of military tribunals for treason, we're never going to get anywhere. General Flynn's wants that. Mark Wayne Mullen, who you have presented here, wants that. I want that. I've talked to thousands of people. The guys I played golf with today, never met them before. I was by myself. They said, come on and play with us. And for the 10 holes of golf we played, we basically had this show for 2 hours talking about the exact same things. And they were saying all the stuff that Rich and Bruce and I have said, the things you've said, it's not a secret anymore. There is no secret. They're like the naked king, right? The king that the boy told me, oh yeah, that's a great outfit. And that's exactly what all of them are like. They're parading in front of all the American people naked and acting, well, that kid told me. Well, yeah. Yeah, you're a fucking idiot, you know? King dumbass.
There's lots of them too.
It's a whole lot of them.
Yeah, they're everywhere. And you know, and
Just
the
watch
more
your-
we,
Mr.
the more
General.
we can expose these people and share the information, the more people will realize, hey, that's true. The one lady that said it at the grocery store, I haven't seen anything, but I'm finding out that more and more people are sharing it, and it's truthful. You know, like it's just sad because so many people don't want to hear the truth. They just don't want to hear it. You know, they don't. So many people didn't want to even see the movie The Sound of Freedom because they didn't want to believe that that kind of stuff happens in America. They don't want to
Did you
believe
know-
that America is the #1 trafficking country in the world. They don't want to believe that. That's in other countries. That doesn't happen here. But what were you going to say, Fauci?
I just was gonna say that sometimes a child will go missing, and sometimes a donor for a rare body organ will be found, and sometimes it's a little smaller than what the recipient wants, but the blood type might match. Let's try it. Plug it in. Nobody discussed this. Nobody at all. We're just gonna nod our heads. Yeah, that's it. That's a ticket. Put on your mask.
Yeah, well, people aren't dying fast enough. And then when they started killing them with the vaccine and, you know, the biological weapon attack that we got, those organs had spike proteins, so they had to go to the unaffected areas and fly them in and let them caravan up, riding on the back of trains and all this other shit, so that they could have fresh, good organs.
Mm-hmm.
It's sad. I mean, I'm not talking about something that from a book. We're talking about what we have lived.
Mm-hmm.
It's a miracle any of us are not we're not all in the nut house with post-traumatic stress.
Well, it's
Right?
because we
And
do this.
God
See,
knows what's going on in the
yeah,
minds
but
of the poor
It's
people.
not
this
for my
kind
lack
of
of
thing we're
trying.
doing
I've
right
been
now.
doing everything I can. I've been doing everything I can with the shadow government. Barack has been giving me plenty of audience, but we just can't incarcerate all 84 million of the MAGA voters, and that's a shame. Put on your mask.
But the reason why a lot of us aren't basket cases is because of this discussions, spaces, different places to go, churches, bowling alleys, wherever it is that you go play golf and you talk about things. So you're able to vent a little bit. And people get to meet other people and talk, because people aren't meant to be by themselves all day. It's just it's not good for you. People need other people to talk to and listen to and spend time together, not really necessarily having to talk about stuff like this, but watching movies together, building Legos together, going for walks, going out to dinner, spending time with other people, and sharing your feelings about whatever's going on in your life. That's an important thing that people need. We all
Yeah,
need.
it needs to start with what you said 2 hours ago when we first started. It needs to start around the dinner table.
Yeah, people don't do it anymore. They go in their room and they play video games and eat at their desk, stuff like that. Or they don't. One eats at 4, someone else eats at 5:30, and the other person eats at 7:30. They don't even sit together anymore. So
Yeah.
it's
Now the
really
kids over on the couch in the living room and
watching TV.
mom's in the kitchen can see him, and he stops his game and texts her and asks her to bring him something to eat, and her dumb ass does it.
Yep, that's what I'm saying. Uh, I grew up in a house where my dad wanted all of us to sit at the table. He said, "I'm not home all the time. I'm always gone. I'm having to travel and do stuff in the military. And when I'm home, I expect my family to sit at the table and eat dinner with me." That
Yeah.
was the rule, and we did it. And we all got up and got our plates, asked to be excused, and then we would go and we'd end up washing dishes and putting the dishes away and things like that, sweeping the floor and all that stuff. We just That's what we did, and I think it made my family stronger as a family. And just like you were saying earlier, you got a family with 5 kids, and all of them have different dads, and the dad's not living there. So the kids just go out in the street trying to find other people to hang with and do things with, because they're looking for somebody to do things with them, to make them feel like they're worth something. And
You know
it's
something crazy that one of the guys golfing today said that the number one person on his list that he wanted to see arrested and put in jail for the rest of their life was none other than Hillary Clinton.
I feel the same. That's exactly how I feel. I mean, if that's the only one I can get, that's the one I'd enjoy the most. I would watch every single day in court and everything. I would be glued to the TV. But I
I mean,
wanted to,
she said her parents named her Rodham after the guy that put the flag on the North Pole. She was born before that guy did that.
I know, she's full of crap.
I
I don't believe
mean,
in.
Al Gore said that his mom used to sing him the lullaby, "Look for the Union Label," which came out in the 70s. He'd have been a 22 or 24-year-old man laying his head on his mommy's lap, staring at her titty in that ugly fucking velvet blouse when that
Oh my
song came on the radio.
But I want to play this because this is another area in government where we have more fraud. It's in every single crevice
Yeah.
of our
Yeah, I was
government.
watching this hearing live when he said
Yeah,
this.
Yeah, I watched some of it live too, and that's why I said, "Oh, I wonder if I can find it." And I wanted to play some of it for you because I do like watching some of these hearings, and I wish more people could watch them because it's very
You should
plain.
follow him on YouTube. He's one of the PIAB guys.
Well, one of the things that's funny to me is you can watch it, and if they took all the names down, just take all the nameplates down, and then it came to this person to ask questions and this person to ask questions, you would know immediately who the liberal is
That's
by the
true.
way they ask questions and how they answer. It's shocking how easy it is to tell. But I want to play this so you guys can listen to this. This is very, very truthful. I mean, it's just, that's what it is.
Just last year, the Inspector General, when I asked him to do an audit of the St. Louis Distribution Center, the Inspector General told me it was the worst case of lack of on-time delivery, the worst case of distribution problems he had ever seen, ever, in an audit that he had done. Ever. What's been changed since then?
If you look at the service scores, I would commend you to go online. We publish our service scores weekly.
I don't want to go online. I want you to come here with answers because you're the Postmaster General of the United States. I don't want to have you come here and be told you don't know what's going on in my home state. When I have written to you, when I have called you, when my residents have called you and asked you, when they're paying their taxes and they're paying these postal service marks and increases, I don't want to be told, go online. I want answers. And the other thing I want to know is, why are you getting bonuses and members of your staff getting bonuses for this kind of performance? Let's take a look. Just look at the numbers. The Postmaster Generals of this country in the last 10 years have gotten bonuses over $2 million. You got a bonus last year, $305,781. Why are you getting bonuses when my constituents can't get the mail?
Senator, I don't control bonuses. Our board of governors.
Will you pledge not to take them?
Pardon me?
Will you pledge not to take them?
Will you pledge to reward our people?
Oh, no. Don't turn it around. You are in charge of the Postal Service, and we have given you everything you've asked for. Just 3 years ago, this Congress allotted tens of billions of dollars to the Postal Service. I'm glad you think it's funny, Postmaster General. You think that this situation is funny. Let the record reflect the Postmaster General is laughing as he gets asked why he's taking bonuses while there's piles of undelivered mail in my state. It's a disgrace. It is an absolute disgrace.
Let the record reflect that I was laughing when you said we've been given everything we've asked for.
You have been given an opportunity to deliver the mail, and you're here laughing about it. You are here telling me you don't know, you're unprepared, and let the record reflect you won't pledge not to take bonuses. So you're going to keep on taking them? Is that what you're telling me? Yes or no? Will you refuse bonuses so long as the mail goes undelivered?
Any piece of mail?
Yes or no? Will you refuse bonuses until the mail gets delivered? Yes or no?
What mail?
Oh, this is extraordinary. In other words,
No,
you don't know. You want the money. Unbelievable. 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 I am absolutely astounded at this today, General. Well, you should be. And frankly, if things don't get better, you ought to resign because you're not doing the job. You're leaving your good postal workers out there. You're hanging them out to dry. They don't make near what you do. They're working their butts off. They're getting blamed, and you're getting the bonus. We got a big problem.
Time is expired.
And based on what I've seen today, you're part of it.
So an Inspector General audit was just done at USPS, and they said it was the worst they had ever seen for the post office, and people are not getting their mail. Well, let's just take a look at how much money these people are making. So these are the top 8 positions in USPS and how much they are getting paid with their salary. Now, keep in mind, they just paid each other $2 million in bonuses on top of this. So we have the Postmaster General, he's making over $350K, Deputy Postmaster making over $345,000. And just kind of take a look at this. Do these salaries reflect that they're not able to deliver mail and it has the worst distribution they have ever seen? And also keep in mind, so when you're looking at all these insane salaries that you yourself would never hit for, I'm sure, doing a much better job at your job, these do not include their bonuses and other incentives that they get. Just take a look down here. The actual executive salaries are significantly higher when you include their bonuses, incentives, pension changes, benefits. All of these things also go on top of their salaries. So regularly, they are exceeding $500,000 plus, likely each per year. So you're paying these people $500,000 to not even be able to deliver mail and have the worst distribution the inspector general has ever seen.
Obviously, this guy's not around a lot of government workers that often.
Yeah.
No offense, but like the customer service section of the government is the don't give a fuck branch. Like they don't give a shit if they make us happy or not. What would change?
Yeah,
We still
you
gotta
should
pay
have said that when Rich was here about the VA care.
Mm-hmm.
He would have gone the fuck off.
Well, the thing
Well,
is, the
the VA
government is reflecting of what people are in office. And when you
Yeah.
have a president of the United States that stands up at the podium, I'm talking about Biden, and he tells our military, well, you're not making enough money, get on food stamps. And these are the people that he's going to send over there to die for our country. Oh, get on food stamps. He doesn't give a flying fuck about these people. None of these people do. That's what I'm trying to say, is that you and I have to take back our country, our states back from the federal government and start taking better care of ourselves and demand that the person that we put in office does their damn job, period. We put them in there for something, we should have 6 months and say, okay, you've only done this one thing since you've been in there. We're going to let you go back for another 2 months. And if you don't pass these other things that we asked for, you're out. We're getting rid of your ass. I wish there was a way we could do that, because to me, that's fair. You see what I
Well,
mean?
you have to do local recall votes for that. Listen, they're calling for a recall vote for Mondami. It started this afternoon. Very powerful, rich people in New York, and a lot of people who voted for him that realize, oh my God, was I thinking voting for him? And you may see a recall coming up. They have recalls in California all the time. That's grassroots politics. I
Okay,
mean,
well,
we
that's
could talk
great.
about it all night. It won't do anything. When you and a bunch of your friends go down to the courthouse or, the government building in your local town and start telling these people, we're going to get the petition and get the signatures and your ass is going to be gone. And if they don't straighten up right then you go get the signatures.
Yep. I mean,
sounds
the thing is,
effective.
we're
Sounds
starting
greatly
to see,
effective.
yeah, we're starting to see the wheels are turning. Okay. And just like people were saying, I want to see arrests. I want to see arrests. Well, that's why Trump is doing the best he can to release everything he can, classified documents, getting them out there so people can see them. Kash Patel, since his day one, he's been in there, is talking about all the stuff that they're finding, and they got people 24 hours a day going through it, just like they did with Doge, and they're still doing it in Doge, right? They're still finding more and more fraud. And I mean, one county in California for Medicaid fraud was over 10 billion with a B dollars. One county.
It's just a small accounting error.
Well, the thing is, it's happening. It's happening. It's just that
I messed up. I put a comma in the wrong spot.
We have to be patient because it takes a lot of time to dig this out. And if you want to win cases, you have to have all the I's dotted, all the T's crossed, all the signatures have to be on there, and they have to have a decent judge that's going to actually sit there and follow the law, that's not paid off. We have to have all these things set out for it to work, because what do you think is going to happen to Trump and the rest of this administration when they do arrest Hillary Clinton, okay? And they go to court and she gets off because they don't have enough evidence. There's not enough to say, yeah, she definitely did this. She did buy the PP dossier.
She sold our weapons grade plutonium to fucking Vladimir Putin.
Uranium One was Hillary Clinton.
That's right.
Yet she was still able to get everybody to think that Putin and Trump were like kissy buddies with the PP dossier and shit. She got away with it. Okay, so what I'm saying is, we have to do it. The people have got to stay on everyone's ass, keep writing them, keep bringing up more and more of this stuff to show the other people that aren't seeing it, uh, getting more and more people to realize this is true stuff. This is actually real. Because it's sad, because I believed the fraud from the election the whole time. I believed it. I saw it. Okay. But it's taken, we still have people that still don't think it even happened.
They know it happened.
Well, they
want
say,
it to happen again next time because they lost last time.
I'm just saying. So little by little, I'm starting to see changes. I'm starting to see people stepping down from the position they have. Look at what's his name again, Fetterman. They're all deciding, hey, this isn't the group of people I thought I was involved in. You know, I'm seeing chaos erupt around me, and this isn't what I want. So more and more of them are doing that, and maybe we'll have to keep an eye on them because I have a hard time trusting someone that's been backing this section of people for this long, and they're saying they didn't even see it or didn't know about it. You know, I'm not even in that party, and I can see it. So you know, I'm gonna have a hard time believing that they're truthful about
If
what
we
they're.
made all those leftist assholes draw lots in the House, in the House and Senate, and we made them draw lots and say whoever gets the shortest stick, send them out here. We got some people here from Palestine, and they're going to skin one of y'all out here on the floor, and then ask them after they watch all that shit, the brutal screaming, literally dying because you can't breathe from pain, and then say, who's next? Y'all love these people. Y'all carry their flag all around and you defend these people. Draw more lots. We want to see another one, right? That kind of shit right there. If you want to teach somebody something, make them pay for it. That's where lessons come from. Every lesson I ever learned that I didn't have to learn twice cost me a lot the first time I learned it.
You know, I'm kind of sad that we're going with Palestinians and not, you know, the Romanian way, which is the impalement through the buttocks.
Yeah.
Vlad would be disappointed because he still has the lawn decoration champion. He's got that trophy still.
Well, I wish, I just want to start seeing something good happening where we're starting to see justice. That's what I want to see. I want to see people, and I have seen a few arrests and people put in jail for voter fraud and some other things in different states. And I just want to see more of it. But I want to see who ran these big operations, who was behind it, who was behind all of these machines, you know, that kind of stuff. That's what I want to see. I want to see the bigger, higher ups. Just like I was trying to tell people, when they arrest a lot of these people, and they have arrested a few, okay, when it comes to the Epsteins, it's not going to be all these people that you think it's going to be. It's going to be mostly doctors, lawyers, other millionaires that you don't even know, you never heard of. Some guy that owns a muffler company, you know, stuff like that. That's the kind of people that you get, that were most of the ones that were customers, and that's where the money came from to fund Epstein's other adventures. Okay, and that's when he used that money to get the bigger people involved. But most of the people that use these girls were people you probably wouldn't even recognize their name if you heard them. And a lot of people don't want to believe that, but that's why I say go read the stuff yourself. You're not going to recognize hardly anyone. Now, I saw pictures and it had like Mick Jagger in there, rooting and sitting there next to Bill Clinton having a great old time. I don't know exactly what they were looking at, but there's lots of people in there that you're going to go, what? And you're not going to be happy about it. But if you want to see the truth, you have to go there yourself and start going through the files. They're there. Trump put him out there just like he said he would. He was going to be as transparent as he could. And that's what he hounded and hounded and hounded what's her face to get this stuff out. And it took her long enough, but she, you know, they started releasing it. Just wasn't quick enough. But it's out there now.
That's due process takes time.
I know.
I have patience for due process. What I don't have patience for is one more minute of denial by these sick bastards.
Yeah, me either. But I'm really tired. It's midnight. It's after midnight, and I had a few more things, but I'm just too tired. I got up really early this morning. I'm really exhausted, so I'm gonna get me a snack and get my PJs on and go to bed.
I'll second the motion. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Thank you guys.
Everybody
It
have
really-
a good night. Thank you for being here with us. If you want more Janet, you can have more Janet tomorrow, roughly at about 12:30 in the afternoon, Central Standard Time. She'll be partaking in a not Pathfinder game, a D100 RPG that I've been running for a while. Shadow, if you ever find your every other Saturdays are available, give me a buzz. We'll get you set up with the character to get with the party. You already know some of the group would be a hell of a lot easier to bring you in than for you not to be involved with us. Okay. Thank you. One and all so much. What?
Bruce,
Oh,
what about
Sunday? Are you part of Sunday or are you on vacation? Or are you out doing
No,
stuff?
I'm gonna be there.
Hey, I want to give a shout out to all the great comments tonight. There was a lot of good people throwing stuff up there that, sort of to go forward with some of the things we were talking about. There was a lot of good questions and
Like that.
great crowd tonight.
The Emperor's New Clothes.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah,
Yeah,
I'm not up on my fairy tales.
Yeah, we always have a really good lively chat. Because they're really smart. They all think for themselves, and I like that. But to me, they're listening because they want to be as informed as they possibly can, and to see whether other people in the chat are informed. With the same things they might not know about.
Yeah,
And
great
I think
input
that's great.
tonight.
So
Thank you again, Janet, as always. I love our venting.
I love it when I have people that are interested in talking about things like this, because this kind of stuff to me is important that we talk about it and get it out in the open. And that's the only way we can fix anything is when we see what needs to be fixed and how can we fix it. And the only way to do that is to have other people looking at it saying, we could try this, we can try that, and come up with different ideas. And just because a couple times I played a few people on different shows and even shared certain things in the shit show chat, and people say, why in the hell are you sharing that guy? I'm like, well, I don't like this guy either, but this story that he's shared is about a barista, a girl that serves coffee every day, and it was a good little story, and I wanted to share the story. Sometimes good stories do come from people we don't like.
Well, I'm going to give Bruce a shout out too. Thanks for saying all the shit I'm not allowed to say because of my job.
You know what I do for a living?
Yeah, he does it.
You know what I do for a living, Chris?
No,
I pull up to houses and convenience stores and restaurants and commercial spaces with a 5,000-gallon tank on the back of a modified Peterbilt chassis, and I pump out gallons and gallons of wastewater additives and other shit, including shit. So when I show up, people aren't expecting me to quote Shakespeare. They don't really want me to know the latest situation that's going on between Iran and the United States. They really want to just have the business taken care of, if they're even there, because a lot of times I'm allowed to go places before they're even open, so they don't have to deal with my smell.
Well, that brings up a whole new light to me to a shit show. I mean, yeah, you bring work here with you. I totally get it.
I completely love my job, and I love the fact that I can and will say whatever the fuck I want. My boss tells me just don't have the company number on the interwebs when you're doing that, because I don't want to have to get a new phone number. God damn it. Okay, fine, whatever. But he understands that I've got a kind of a public persona on this social media bullshit. So we do this in the greater San Antonio and South Central Texas area. We have a lot of clients. We take care of some very high profile people.
Yeah,
but
you know the
it works.
Burj Khalifa, that the tallest building in the world that they built in Dubai. Do you know they don't have sewer pipes? They
None.
store the shit, man, on one floor, and every
Yep.
day trucks come in and they empty the shit from that holding
Mm-hmm.
tank and drive it out. There's not a sewer pipe in that building. They're about to shut it down. The air conditioning system has quit working. They've been dealing with, 58 and 60 degree Celsius temperatures up in the 130s and all that. Now the air conditioning isn't working. Nobody's buying places there. Yeah, you could probably get a job as a contractor for 180 grand a year driving a truck over there on that shit show.
You couldn't pay me $1 million a year to go to Dubai and operate, because I just hate human trash known as Islam and Muslims. I just despise it to the nth degree. It's a garbage fucking ideology for garbage ass people. We left the desert, we left the shit in the desert, and now the desert tried coming over here to our little paradise. I do not like it. I'm very frustrated.
Bruce, what's our movie? The name of our movie?
I'm a person that believes that on Sunday,
I don't remember.
the movie
It's
that
with
you are watching with me is called The Gauntlet.
Okay, we're gonna watch The Gauntlet and
Gauntlet.
review it.
It's The Gauntlet.
So if you want to join us, Chris, just let me know and I'll send you a link, because it's in Discord. And when you see the little screen pop up at the bottom, that means we're about to watch it. It's usually around 12:30. And we got a group of us that go in and we watch it, and then we talk about it afterward.
I got a tea time with the boys tomorrow at 12
That's
o'clock.
okay. I'm just not tomorrow. It's on Sunday. The movie's on Sunday.
Okay.
So just think about it.
Yeah.
And it's fun. We enjoy it. I love it because I've seen so many movies that I've never seen because of it. So
I lost you. You talking? Your mic's on?
Mm-hmm. But I'll see you later.
I'll be right back.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah.
I don't know why. It's just weird because Bruce dropped too. So I don't know. But yeah, it's fun. It's a lot of fun. And that's how I watch so many movies, is that we watch it in Discord, a whole group of us. So it's a lot of fun.
Well, I'm like you. I'm really tired. I've had a long day.
Yeah, me too. So I'll talk to you later, okay? Bye.
Bye.
Boys and girls all over the world are being abused and tortured.
The worst moments of these children's lives, they're being videotaped and they're being shared with other offenders all over the world.
Many people would refer to this as CSAM, child sexual abuse material.
They are suffering and they don't think that anyone is coming to help them. But we can. We can build that army and we can go get them.
Come be a part of this team that is trying to push back this evil.